Island Fishing Tqckle in the beautiful city of Carson, California. What's up, man?
What's up, man?
Good to see you.
How you been?
Sam, look.
Good.
Look.
1 week late, but it's all right.
You were my inspiration. I have to admit, you were my inspiration. You made me get off my dead, you-know-what, rear end and go out and make it happen. So we do have the swag available, or the merch, I should say, and it's really good to be with you all. We've had some really crummy weather here lately, and it's put the brakes on some wide open bluefin tuna fishing, a really big fish. The halibut fishing was great. We have a boat that we're going to talk about, had limits of white sea bass. There's a lot going on considering the fact that we just came out of winter chronologically into spring.
Yeah.
And that it's windy out, and
feels like spring.
Yeah. And, you know, Mackie is sitting out here. Dan is sitting out here. Michael Limon is running around. All these, I don't know about Mackie. I don't think were you there? Oh, yeah, Mackie was there. We had that surf fishing thing. It was freaking raining and horrible wind. There's 30 people down there.
Catch anything?
They did, yeah. It wasn't wide open, but there was leopard shark, barred perch, Corbina. Man, it was pretty darn good.
Cool.
It was really cool to see all those people show up. So, good stuff. Gotta love it, man.
Cool.
What else?
That's it.
What do you mean?
Show's over. Oh, what?
Yeah, that's it. We can go home now, right?
The wind and big fish. That's been the big deal here.
Oh, those big tuna?
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Man.
Yeah, last year I think we had some of that, a little bit of that, but we had a lot more like medium, small fish, 20-pounders, 30-pounders in the mix in the early season, I thought. But it seems like there's a huge percentage of larger fish this year. So, I mean, gosh, things are only going to be so good.
Yeah, and it seems like what we're down to now, see if you agree with me, is all you need is some good weather, and more likely you're in the ball game.
Seems like it, yeah.
Yeah, right?
You guys' trip should be good. It's coming with a month away now, exactly, right?
No, hell no. It's like April 4th.
Oh,
so
no. It's like a week
10
away.
days, right? Or something like that.
Away,
no, I know. I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
I got plenty of time to get ready for the, whoa, wait a minute. Yeah, exactly. So it's sneaking up fast. But, I mean, even that trip is going to be contingent on good weather. So I'm praying for that. I looked at the long-range forecast.
There's a little bit of wind on the front end of it, I think.
Yeah. Like 15 knots, though.
Yeah.
And so that's normal. I mean, I fished 25 knots in that boat when we caught fish. So.
And you could kind of like go down, scoot down a little bit, fish some yellowtail or something like that, and come right back up. So you're not going to be out of the zone. It isn't like an opposite way where you're 150 miles the wrong way or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And I know I'm going to sound like a complete maniac now, or somebody who's insane, which fits me perfectly. But I really I don't know like what the Royal Polaris is going to tell them on the way up. Like, hey, there's a lot of yellowfin down here at $1.80, because they caught them there at 100 miles. Now, they didn't kill them. The Tribute had 4 and the Polaris Supreme had 4, but they saw more fish, which is weird. And who knows, man? Maybe there's some fish another 100 miles south that we could definitely get to. And they were nice grade.
Warm bubble of water or something like that.
That's exactly what it is, Sam. Because I looked below, and it looks like there's this warm bubble of water up here, and then down below that upwelling. So they went down there, and they went, oh, no, this is way too cold, and back in, So they're caught up here, it may not be that much. We'll see.
Dissipate or whatever.
Yeah. So really good stuff. And then of course south of the border, we were getting great signal in San Quintin. That yellow bite's been going on for months.
Yeah. I mean, that seems like since last year almost. I mean, I know that yellowtail fishing down there on the coast when we fished our Cedros trip. The guys were coming up consistently before that and during that time and after that. All the long range boats were coming up and fishing Natividad and places north of that, and just finding just massive amounts of yellowtail everywhere. So it seems like that fish must have just stayed there and is now moving up, like you were saying. So I mean, you guys have that too. So it's looking like all the way around.
Looks like a great trip. Yeah. By the way, I spent some time today over at Glenn Mueller's house, a guy that ran boats in Redondo. His brother Chris ran the city of Redondo. He was there. Lori was there. Whoa, what a history of Redondo sport fishing they have. I was just sitting there with my, mouth open, listening to some of the stories, seeing all the documentation. It was really great, and it was so nostalgic. I was wondering, is this resonating with me because I lived it?
Yeah.
And so, somebody else would hear it and think, oh, well, that's cool, but whatever. But for me, man, and then Glenn starts telling the story about bluefin tuna and salmon biting together, and he goes, it's unbelievable, but Joe Schilling on the Mascot 4 had over 100 bluefin tuna one day. The best, I think, ever out of Redondo. And I said, you know who the deckhand was on that trip? And he goes, you? And I go, yeah, me. That's that old Eddie Leland thing where Eddie worked 40 days straight, needed a day off, and Joe Schilling found me, who had no idea how to put a gaff in a bluefin tuna. And I was on that trip, so it was cool. And I put up a short with Glenn, and I'll put up a few more. It's already getting some rave reviews, so good stuff. You want to read some comments?
Yeah, let's get
While I still can, because by the end of the show I start reading like a moron. I need help.
Make the comments now.
Yeah. Right now I just read like an idiot. Yeah. Later on, it's a moron. Andrew H., what's up? Hey, Andrew, what's going on? Jeremy, hello, Phil, Sam, Michael, and Friedman Adventures, family, and friends as Sam goes to answer the phone. And thank God it's not Daniel Lightfoot's phone, or I would be throwing a 6-ounce torpedo sinker right out there in the audience like I did last time. Remember that?
Yeah.
What did I throw?
A pen.
A pen, yes. I threw a pen at him, Mackie, the last time. We have a studio audience, by the way, that is brimming out into the street tonight. So great stuff. 50 people watching. Hit that like button. We deeply appreciate it when you do that. Tony says, good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing? We are doing great, and great to see you here, Tony. Thanks for being here. Jeremy, did you get the website fixed? I did, Jeremy. You're all set. Oh, man, I didn't send you a message on that? I thought I did. I apologize. But I didn't get it fixed because it's beyond my pay level. I'm not smart enough to be able to do that. But the guy that did it says you can order hats and shirts, Friedman Adventure stuff, by going to, what is that? Embroiderycreations.net. Embroiderycreations.net. I've had 3 hours sleep since Friday, so it's been a long weekend, let me tell you. Tyler Tanaka, Turbo 2. Greetings from Texas tonight, boys. Awesome to be able to join for a change. Hey, great to have you here, Tyler. Thanks for joining us from Tejas. David Alcantar, howdy party people. I saw David at the Bass Pro Shop seminar I did, and he had a lot of great questions, and I got to spend some really good time with him. That was great. And Robert Graber up there in the 805. Good evening, Phil, Sam, and Michael. Happy Monday. Woohoo! And Robert loves fishing up there in the Channel Islands. By the way, we have a trip on board the Island Spirit, May the 31st. Booking up fast. If you want on it, send me a text. Our great cameraman, Mackie, will be there to shoot that very special event. He's looking at me like, really? You didn't say anything to me about it. But he just gave me the thumbs up. So Mackie's going to be there. And we'll be having a great time. That's May the 31st. If you want information on that trip or all our charters, just send me a text. I'm going to forget my phone number tonight. I'm so tired. I know I am. 657-227-6459. Scott Bouchert is on the line. I want a hat and shirt and sweatshirt. Scott, you got it. Just don't steal your dad's credit card to buy it this time. Daniel Sanchi says hello. Steve Din says good evening, Phil and Sam and the Friedman Adventures family. Hey, it is great to see you guys. Man, the questions are loading up as Sam attempts to sell some guy on the phone something. I'm not sure what it is. Ruben Castaneda, good evening, Phil and Sam and Michael. Michael, everybody's saying hello to you as you play on your telephone and your people are, as Michael sends live chat in to the show. I'm so proud of him, not imitating his grandpa tonight. And Matthew Dempster. Evening, gents. Thanks for all your time and effort. It is much appreciated. Matthew, not as much as we appreciate you being here, my friend. Really, really appreciate all of you for that matter. And Scott Buchert says, from Sam and Phil. I think he wants a gift from Sam and Phil. He wants one of these hats and shirts. Good luck, Scott. David Rosenthal, Anglers, Pliers, the best. David says, good evening, Phil and Sam. Isaac says, good evening, everyone. Andrew H., I'm planning a 3-day trip in late November. What kind of fish do you think we will be going for? Sam, he's got a trip in late November. It's going to be a 3-day. I would say definitely bluefin tuna. They'll be winding down on the albacore bite around that time. Yeah. There could still be some yellows around town. What do you say?
Where's he going out of?
He didn't say, actually, but I'm going to guess San Diego on a 3-day in November.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one. That late November, you're really talking, typically by that time, things have wound down completely. Typically, doesn't mean that they haven't caught tuna, after that time, so that's definitely a possibility. But I definitely would at this point right now, you kind of have to wait and see. This is so far ahead of that time, especially a transitionary time.
Well, yeah, the kind of year we've got going on, El Nino to La Nina, and then the time of year you're referring to. Yeah,
right. I mean, anything that you can predict right now, I think it's just an outguess.
Are we screwed? Oh, I thought we were screwed up there for a second.
That thing looks backwards. Before it was the other way.
No. Oh, yeah, that's okay though.
Okay.
Now I can actually see whether or not we're working or not.
But yeah, so I mean, I would say at this point right now, you're looking kind of far ahead at a time that's a transitionary time. And so anything's possible. It could be rockfish, it could be yellowtail, it could be tuna. It could be a lot of different things, So for right now, I would really more, say that you're going to want to wait until probably mid-November to start looking at late November. It's just so hard to say because it's such a transitionary time. So if it was like August, September, we can kind of maybe give you a better idea of some things you can expect. But that time of year, you're kind of leaving one type of fishing and going into another.
And, to be perfectly honest, you're making a really good point because many times the decisions on what you're going to fish and where you're going to go are made while you're driving out and talking to somebody who said, hey, you need to get down here. This is going on. Oh, shoot. All right. We'll be down there.
Or something that was happening. They're like, man, it ain't happening down here anymore. Go the other way.
Yes.
So, yeah, that time of year is a little bit kind of hard to predict it, so.
Yeah, 100%.
Ask me a week before your trip. I'll give you a better idea.
Or when you're leaving, for sure. Tyler Tanaka, Turbo 2. Hey, Sam, what do you recommend for rigging jigs like wiggle riders with very small eyes? Just go way down in split ring size or braise a solid rig?
Braise, yeah. I think that we've had that issue too where you don't know how to rig those up. A lot of guys have brought them in for us to braise a solid ring on there to make room for a split ring. But I think most guys are just using the type of assist hook that just kind of ropes onto that ring. So I'll go grab one, and I wish I had a wiggle rider to show you.
Yeah.
Do you have a wiggle rider anywhere?
Yeah, but I don't show it in public. That's between my wife and I. What's that?
Thank God.
Yeah. Dan wants to see it, but I refuse. All right, so Sam's getting his wiggle rider out, and what are you going to do now? Oh, you're not going to show? Okay.
Yeah, if I had one, I'd show it.
If you did, that would definitely be pissing fun.
It'd be
Would it ever? Let me tell you. Inside joke. You got to watch the show to know what that's all about, right?
So Tyler, I'd be using this kind of setup here and just putting it right onto the ring versus normally we're using these other types of assist hooks that have a ring on them already. And so attaching something like that to your jig, you would attach it with a split ring. The problem with that wiggle rider is that the amount of ring that's sticking out of the jig is pretty small. So you can't really put a big split ring on there. So I would say just attach that right directly to your wiggle rider.
Yeah, nice. Very good.
Yes.
Seems dangerous.
Does it?
A little bit. Those hooks are very sharp, aren't they? What?
In general, yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Is that a joke or?
No,
Okay,
I'm
good.
trying to caution our audience. I look after our people.
Watch out for your hooks when you're putting them on your jigs, for sure.
On your wiggle rider.
Especially on your wiggle rider.
Yes. All right, let's get...
We actually had that as a...
what?
We had that as a code word one week.
Yeah, we did actually.
We did, that's right. Now,
remember that.
I knew we talked about this before, yeah.
That's right. Wiggle Rider and Piss and Fun are right up there with the best right now. All right, Jeff Yeomans, 540 Slingers Club. Jeff, thanks for your service. Happy Monday. Phil, Sam, and the Friedman Adventures family. Jeff, always good to see you here, my friend. Giver Plus, Yellows at Catalina Island. Yet I haven't heard anything about.
Haven't, no.
Have I seen a private boater guy have fish?
Oh, they've
there?
caught some fish there for sure, but not to where you can call it a bite.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of that yet. I mean, I would say, until maybe mid-June to late June is probably going to be at that point where you start thinking, okay, well, it's been kind of late. We haven't caught them too much. But, I think at this point now, we're still a little bit early. Usually it's late spring, early summers when they start showing up.
Yeah. But this year, I mean, with all those yellows down south.
You never know.
Yeah, exactly.
You never know.
Hopefully, Giver Plus, they're coming. Michael Limo wants to know if he's going to choose a yo-yo iron, what color should it be? Sam?
Scrambled egg.
Ooh, the scrambled egg.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
I mean, that would be your best one?
If you had to choose one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't call it best. I mean, any given time, any jig will work. Every jig has its day. But if I had to choose one jig to fish all of Southern California, all of Baja, either a blue and white or a scrambled egg.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably going to be the two main
How
ones.
about a chrome jig?
I'm sure that would work okay too.
Yeah.
Nowadays too, another thing that guys are using a lot, or maybe I wouldn't say a lot, but maybe more than we used to is knife jigs as yo-yo jigs.
I know. Yeah.
That's become a thing too. Where guys just use a regular knife jig on your regular yo-yo rod. You'll put the hooks on top, which actually that kind of helps out so you don't snag the bottom so much. But you'll put these assist hooks up on top and catch yellows that way, and you'll fish it just like a knife jig. I mean, like a yo-yo jig. Or you'll just drop it down and wind, 30, 40 feet, 50 feet.
Drop it back down again.
Just like a yo-yo jig.
Yeah.
So that part's no different. But using a knife jig, because the hooks you can put them up on top, is pretty nice. You don't snag the bottom as much.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
And those usually aren't scrambled egg. And they're usually kind of prism colors, reds, blues, pinks, things like that. And fish are being caught on those pretty good too.
Yeah, you either catch a yellow or a big rockfish, right?
Yeah, if you're in that zone, for sure.
Yeah. Very good. Michael Limon, that was an excellent question.
Very good question.
Very good.
Maybe it was a different Michael
Yes.
Limon.
Yeah, maybe it was.
Surprised, yeah.
Yeah, he looks like he didn't ask the question. Like, really? What? I didn't ask a question.
Yeah.
Oh, we woke him up. Tony says, Sam, how do you set your drag on a 100-pound setup? I've heard some people like 30-pound at strike. I know the reel can handle that much drag, but how the person holding that and getting a strike winding up the jig?
Yeah. So, I mean, it really depends on the size of reel you have and as to kind of whether it'll quote unquote handle that, Typically that 30 pounds of drag, that's quite a bit of drag. And so one of the things you could do, especially when you're yo-yo fishing, or not yo-yo fishing, but fishing a knife jig, for these big tuna, that's when you'd be fishing that much drag, is that when you go to wind back up, so you drop your jig, you put it in free spool, and when you go to wind back up, maybe you don't put it all the way to strike. And one of the things you could do is that at strike, you measure it, 30 pounds of drag, so you got your drag setting there, that's good. That's going to be more your fighting drag. What you want to do is maybe keep measuring it till you get about maybe 15 pounds of drag, and then put a line there. So wherever that lever is, where 15 pounds of drag is, and that might be different for different reels because of how much range you have or how much travel you have between free spool and strike. So some reels might be right halfway, some of them might be a little further down or further up. And so wherever that happens to be, 15 pounds of drag, you want to make a line there, use a piece of tape or something like that, masking tape or anything. And when you go to wind back up as you're fishing, just put it up to that mark there. And then that way you're not going to hook a fish that's going to like pin you to the rail and put you in a bad spot right from the beginning. When you get bit, it starts taking line, you can ease it right up. And usually when the fish starts to run, you can ease it right up, right into that strike position, and it won't be such a jarring event.
Yeah, because otherwise, man, it goes from 0 to 100, right? And
no, I mean, that's not bad either.
I know, I like
it's something that you're used to, it'll work, but it sometimes takes a little bit of getting used to getting into that much drag that quickly, and so if it's something that you have a little bit of concern, you don't have to be at strike when you wind back up, wind your jig back up.
All right, perfect. Daniel says, he's talking about Glenn Mueller, the guy that I mentioned at the beginning of the show. I worked with Glenn when he used to run the Redondo special. I had good times on that boat with him when I used to work on it. I did too, man. I had some really good times. I met Glenn in '74 and then worked for him for several years, and we had some really funny times. I got to admit, man, that was a lot of fun back then. He's a great guy, really nice guy. Matthew says, when fishing bluefin, any advice on how to handle a multi-person tangle? Yeah. Help!
Yeah,
Crew member. Pretty much. What should the guy with the fish do as well as the others that are just part of the tangle? That's a that's a great question because people don't know whether to free spool or not free spool, and they can screw it up by free spooling for sure.
Yeah. I mean, if you're in a multi-fish or a multi-angler tangle, that's going to be two different things too, especially when you got a couple tight lines.
Yes.
So one of the things that, obviously, depending on the boat you're on, if you got, 15 or 20 fish hooked, you may not have a crew member on you right away. But you first want to get the attention of a crew member, if possible. But one of the things you could do is if you bring your tips together, a lot of times that tangle will come closer to you, and hopefully you can see which direction you need to unwind it. And you want to do one rod at a time instead of doing 2 or 3 rods at a time. Is maybe undo one of them, and sometimes you undo that one and then you can clear that one, and now you got 2 to work with. Usually 2 are a little bit more wound up than the other because they've been tangled up a little bit longer. So we try to figure that out, and sometimes it doesn't work. But if you put the tips together, those wraps will come right up to the tip, and then you kind of step back, and then if you can see where you need to go, then try to work that around. That's probably the best you can do on your own. Hopefully by that time a crew member's already got to you, but that's what they're going to probably have you do anyway. So if you can get to that point before they get to you, then at that point they're going to be able to help you out a lot quicker. So put your tips together, do the best you can, and get that tangle as close to your eyeballs as you can to see if you can figure out which way you got to go.
That sounds like sage advice to me. Hit that like button. Thanks for being here, everybody. And don't forget to subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. Tick the bell. You'll be notified when there's new content. Daniel, back to Glenn Mueller, says he knew me as Sarge. I know you as Sarge also, Daniel. Tell him I said hi and give my best to his family. Damon, what up? From Damon Dealer Lures, continue with the great show. Dealer Lures, are you running out to get a dealer lure?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect timing, Damon. We want to salute you for watching the Friedman Adventures. What is this called? Tackle Shop Confession Show. I tell you, I'm going to forget everything tonight. Are those his lures?
Yeah.
Wow, they look nice.
They are really nice.
How come I've never heard them? Because I'm completely out of it all the time?
Pretty much, yeah. Why do you think you would have heard of these?
Because I got you, man.
You didn't even fish.
Well, now I got a camera guy. I'm going to start fishing pretty soon.
There you go.
Mackie, I'm going to have Mackie come out and stand in front of the camera for a second. You want to come out real quick and make an appearance or not? Come out, Mackie. Take a bow behind Sam before. Just see. I'm going to have him take a bow.
Okay.
Go ahead. Are you in there? Did we see him?
I think so.
Yeah, Mackie. All right, let's see these lures for Damon, man. I want to see him.
So,
there he is.
This is a lure here that he came out with. Actually, he had a little bit larger one last year. That larger one was a little heavier. It's kind of a surface iron lure, but definitely a heavier lure. And so you
casting is better.
Yeah. You know, especially down in Cedros where you're doing a lot of running gunning, while the boat's still moving, you could cast that thing right into the wind. These are a little bit smaller. These actually look really good. They're inherently cast with the offset hips and offset holes, and man, they look really good.
They do.
Paint job's good on them.
Beautiful.
The ringing's good on them. The hooks are good on them. So he's just getting these in. I know he's been having them on his Instagram page. You can get them through there from him. But with his next shipment, he's going to bring them down. We'll be able to sell them here at the shop.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Dealer Lures.
Yep.
Damon, good job, man. Thank you. And thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. I'm going to throw one of those on my Independence trip.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be bitchin'. Nate Saul. Hey, Nate, how are you, my friend? Saw you on the morning briefing this morning. I've been looking at different trips. Would you say doing an open party charter is worth it compared to a sport boat? Same thing, right? Or maybe the names, he's not familiar. So an open party.
So maybe a sponsored trip is what he's talking about.
Maybe, yeah, right, Nate? So maybe Nate, are you talking about a charter where you go with a group of people who charter a boat, or open party where you go and there's a random amount of different people out there? Yeah.
Depends on the charter group, you know. I mean, some of these charter groups, you know, you never know who you're going to get, right? So.
Are you pointing at me?
No, the other guy over there.
Oh, Michael Limon. Yeah.
But,
so like Sam does trips on the Royal Star. I do trips on several boats, and I think both of us try to, like, if you have a real jerk on a trip, don't you try to exclude them?
So one of the things that happens is you typically will have, the charter master will have the ability to kind of get people off the list, you know, and so you usually, if you've been doing a trip for a few years, you know, you usually will have a better group, but you know, that can always vary, you know. I mean, there's no sure thing you're going to get a certain type of group, and maybe that group, even though they're great, doesn't suit you.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they're, you know, guys
too conservative or too crazy or too whatever.
Yeah. So
you imagine being on a boat with a bunch of Daniel Lighthouses and that big mustache staring at you the whole trip. Oh my God, I'd have nightmares the whole night.
But yeah, I mean, you know, those groups, at least you can kind of say that they've fished together a lot, and so there's usually some camaraderie, some kind of like continuity with those guys.
Kidding back and forth.
Yeah, you'll find they're a little more comfortable with each other. So typically that's the case. Not always the case, and that'll be usually with groups that have been around or fishing together for a long time. So if you're looking at trips on schedules, you can call down to the boat, I'm sure whichever boat you're looking at, and ask them, if it's a group that's been around for a long time. and I'm pretty sure they'll give you that information.
All right, good advice, no question about it. Surging up toward 100 viewers as people from all over the world are tuning in to Tackle Shop Confessions. That smirk on your face is going to make me burst out laughing. It really is. I think I just called him Lighthouse or didn't I? Or did I call you Lightfoot? Lighthouse. Yeah, I thought I did. Starting to lose it early tonight. I'm drinking as much coffee as I can, no matter what the chiropractor said. All right, Michael Limon says, can I get a T-shirt and a sweatshirt? He's doing a Scott Buchert imitation.
Yeah.
Of course you can. Don't worry about it.
How many do you want?
Yeah. Yeah, just I'll trade you raffle tickets for it. No, I'm kidding. Of course, Michael, don't worry about it. Sniper Gene, what do you think the full one-day boats out of San Diego will start seeing bluefin tuna? When do you think they're going to start seeing them?
I would say June 1st.
I will say Mother's Day in May.
Mother's Day? May?
Yeah,
Could
May.
be.
Yeah, I'd say May. There's too much fish around, man. They
I
caught
know
one
there
up in the
is.
Golden Gate.
Maybe he's talking about fishing out of San Francisco.
Maybe yes.
Yeah.
Well, they already got one, man. It's over with. Their whole problem up there is I talked to one of the guys. No weather.
Oh yeah.
They had a 130 pounder the
Yeah.
other day out of one of those landings, and the guy said, "Man, yeah, there's fish, but
You fish like 4 or
this
5
weather
days a
in
month or something
April
like that.
sucks
Yeah,
up here.
yeah.
It blows. Well, and honestly, it blows here in April. April's a windy month.
It is. It is.
Yeah, so we're hoping it's going to settle down. All right, is my battery dying? Am I plugged in here? Hold on one second. Let me see here. I don't know. I might have to get Mackie on this because I don't know how to plug in a computer.
Are you plugged in?
Yeah, I think I am. All right, Jeremy.
Order complete.
Shirt order complete. I will call Chuck Myers and congratulate him on a job well done. Nice. Thank you, Jeremy. I really appreciate it.
That's the first shirt order
Yeah.
you got.
Oh, man, we're sizzling along here.
You already sold it. You had one shirt and you sold it. Good job.
If I could remember the website, I could probably sell more.
Yeah.
Embroiderycreations.net. Order up right now. Get one of these great shirts and be the envy of
Better
your
hurry.
friends
He's only
and
got
relatives.
3 shirts, so
There's 3 out there,
I
Sam.
know.
All right. Michael Limon says, Sam, what do you recommend for taking the Catalina Express to fish on the island on the docks? What do you recommend?
Maybe some Kitex and some neck breakers, from Warbaits. That'd probably be your kind of go-to for everything there. You'll catch bonita, you'll catch barracuda, you'll catch bass, anything like that. And maybe even some like small metal jigs, your crocodiles and things like that. You'd probably be okay with that too.
All right. Very good. Did you get that, Michael? Mm-hmm. All right. Excellent. Isaac, a.k.a. The Sack. With this El Nino, local wahoo?
Of course. Wahoo
That's
and
wide
albacore.
open. So I'll throw my 2 cents in, and then Sam can throw his in. By summertime, if everything goes as planned, we're in a La Nina cooling. And this El Nino has not resulted in like crazy hot water up here.
No, we don't have that quite yet.
We don't have it. And by the time we're supposed to get it, we may transition into the La Nina, which will bring cold water. Now, having said that, what's up with that yellowfin tuna? That is certainly, we talked about it being trapped, or is that part of the El Nino?
Could be.
And if sometimes these things, like they're in motion, and so it takes a while for that motion. The La Nina is going to start, but that motion of that El Nino has forced that stuff, and it's still going to occur, and then the La Nina. So it's very complicated, and I don't know what the answer is. What are you laughing about? You chime in on it now.
So here's my take on it: is we definitely have data, and we have trends, and we have all kinds of maps and things like that to try to predict, And so it's people that go to school and they learn how to do this, and they can predict things to a certain degree. Animals, they don't have that. They go wherever their body tells them to go.
Yeah.
They don't look online and see your
Hey, there's a grunion run tonight. We're supposed to be on the beach.
yeah, or they don't see the morning briefing and see, okay, well, we're supposed to be up to Ensenada already.
Yeah,
we're
really.
late,
Yeah.
It's wherever they need to go. And so, I think that they're a better indicator of anything else, So, there is something weird going on. It can be an anomaly for sure. It could be a small bubble of warm water, but if that stuff keeps pushing, that yellowfin, there's no doubt that everything else that goes with that, can push.
And that's wahoo and all the other stuff. So wouldn't that be something? Did you get a wahoo when they were up there?
I didn't, no.
Yeah, I didn't either. I went the day they shut off, as usual. I went with Joey Gallagher on his boat, and
didn't happen.
The wind was up, and it was all screwed up, and saw dumb marlin, and that was it. a real pisser, let me tell you. All right, Matthew says, any changes in how to rig knife jigs? Single assist, top and bottom, still okay, or should I use a big treble on the bottom? Or do you have a better suggestion? Very good question, Matthew.
Yeah, we really haven't, figured out another way to do it this year. It seems like every year we figure out another way to do it. It used to be 5 hooks on top, 5 hooks on bottom, and that kind of got reduced down to maybe a couple hooks on top and a couple on bottom. And then last year, maybe 2 years ago, we did have a few incidents on some of the boats where a fish coming over the rail, would catch a crew member coming down, or it would catch the rail coming down, and so then it would jack up the rail, or the fish just wouldn't get, even coming over the rail, they would get stuck,
Yeah, and it's on the ocean side, right?
Yeah.
Oh, my fish.
Yeah, so, that became a thing where people started using just 2 hooks on one side of the jig, whether it was the bottom or the top.
Yeah.
This treble hook thing actually became a real popular thing, I think because of the Eddie bombs having the treble hook. Guys saw, well, I can just put that same treble hook on my knife jig. And so some guys kind of subscribe to that. The one thing I can say about that, and maybe it could be more along the lines of maybe how those bluefin happen to be eating that night, is that there are times where they're just swallowing everything.
Yeah.
Every single lure is way down in their throat. And the idea is that that treble hook is going to get lodged in their gills and pretty much, put them to rest a
Kill
little
them.
bit. Yeah, a little bit quicker,
Yeah.
So that is kind of a positive. You get a big old 250-pounder and you get them to bleed out a little bit, and it's just not going to fight as hard. So that was kind of the idea with those big treble hooks. So I would say it's probably still not the worst thing to do, but it did seem like at times those tuna were just feeding differently, where every single tuna had a jig down his throat. But that's not like that all the times. So you got to be a little bit versatile.
Frankie Sanchez. Hey, Frankie, welcome to the show. Good to see you, my friend. Hey, fellas, what's the major difference between the Lexa 400 and 500? Is it worth it? And how often should you change your line on your rod? Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Frankie.
The biggest difference is that it's a wider reel. It holds more line. And so is it worth it? I mean, that's kind of a relative term as to, how much, $450 means to you personally. But if you're looking for a reel to throw jigs with, and maybe poppers that you need it to hold a little bit more line or maybe bigger line, then yeah, it's worth it because that's what it's going to do. The 400 was never a reel that had any kind of issues that they were trying to solve with the 500 as far as internal issues. So I think that we've kind of had a little bit of pushback on the idea that, well, do I really need one? I have a 400, I'm good enough. But or maybe the 500 doesn't offer as many new features that you would want in a higher price point. Well, those are things that I think, are always going to be up to debate as to whether or not you need a new item, In this case, if you're looking for a reel that holds more line or bigger line, then it's going to be something that's worth it for sure, because it's going to be able to do something that the other reel is not going to be able to do based on line capacity, not based on any kind of drag capacity or it's stronger or nothing like that. It just holds a more bigger line.
All right, good question. Excellent answer. Red Pill says.
Part 2, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How often you should change your line?
Yes.
So your top shot, I would say change it every trip. Especially if you're using a short top shot. There's really no reason to try to save your top shot. Unless you maybe are going to fish a few times in a row, maybe you got a 2 or 3 day trip and you haven't used the top shot for day 1, you don't need to change it for day 2. But if you're going to be fishing, and then maybe 3 months later you go fishing again, I definitely would change my line, even if I didn't use it just because it was sitting on the reel. And typically your top shot's only going to be $1 or $2, so depending on what you're using. So it shouldn't be too expensive. As far as your braid should be able to last a long time. There really isn't an hour meter on it, how much time you should wait before you change your oil or something like that. So it's kind of a hard question to answer. It's going to be more based on kind of what the line has gone through. And that could be a bad tangle, rubbing on the boat, so it could be one trip and your line's done. But if you're pretty free of any of those types of events where you just haven't had tangles or you haven't been rubbing on the boat, your line should last for 10 years or longer. So it really does depend on what your line has gone through, what kind of trauma it's gone through.
Do you find that those nighttime fish, I'm on the camera most of the time, I'm just amazed, I've seen some guys who are not, their first time out fishing. I watch them hook a fish, I go back to the stern to film something, I walk up there and they got their fish already, they don't fight that hard.
At times, yeah.
Do some of those fish at night get really tough? Yeah, I guess. How about it?
Yeah.
The vast majority seem like they're disoriented.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, right?
Well, I think what happens at night, from what I've seen, is that those fish kind of want to stay together.
Uh-huh.
So even when they're hooked up,
They're all going.
Well, I mean, they're just not going to go on their own. So,
Yeah.
like, if they got a school, it's not going to leave the school.
Yeah.
So, if there are times where these fish, kind of run and gun in, and you hook 2 or 3 fish, and the school just keeps moving.
Yeah.
Well, that fish is going to want to stay with the school.
Oh, that makes
so you'll hook
sense.
2 fish, and then those things are just off
Trying
the
to
bow.
go with their buddies.
Yeah. And sometimes the fish just stay with the boat. The boat's drifting, and you'll be on a 4 or 5 hour drift. Well, the fish are just staying with the boat, and you'll see that every single fish will stay straight up and down as soon as you hook them. So, it really depends. There are some fish that do kind of are harder to bring in, but from what I've seen, I think it's more a result of the fish wanting to stay with the school.
Yeah. I know this is a fantastic show tonight. I just know it is because Mackie said he was going to stay for 2 minutes, and he's still here. It
locked
might
the
have
door.
something to do with the door being locked, but he can't get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's still here, no matter what. Red Pill, evening, gentlemen. Great show as always for an early August 2nd day aboard the Pride.
2 days.
What setup? 2 day. I'm sorry. What setup should I bring him? This is going to be a tough question to answer, but thanks in advance.
Everything you got, man.
Yeah, pretty much, right?
Yeah, it's going to be, especially on the Pride. Those guys can fish halibut, sea bass, lingcod, tuna, yellowtail. Everything's going to be on the menu for those guys. At this time right now, looking out to August, it could be full speed 250-pound tuna like, at the Cortez.
Yeah.
So you're probably going to only bring big gear nighttime fishing. It could be something like that, But everything, I think right now, looking forward, that time of year, anything, it could be on the menu for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And this is a nice time to segue into the Pride. Just had limits of white sea bass.
There you go.
Some halibut on their last trip. Great calico bass fishing, sheephead. Where it was, we do not know. Sean Roberts is very tight-lipped about that kind of stuff. In fact, I posted a video once and it had like a piece of the island in the background, and
Take it down.
the next thing I know, he was chasing me around the studio with a fillet knife, So you gotta really be careful with him if you're posting. But the guy works his butt off.
Yeah.
And more times than not, they come through with some incredible scores. Limits of sea bass, 16 guys like 3 weeks ago had 80 halibut on that rig.
That's crazy.
So, they do a great job and they fish hard. So hopefully you're gonna have a great trip. I can't imagine that you're not. It should be great, Red Pill. Michael Limone, I learned a new knot called the improved clench knot.
That's a good knot.
Yeah, he came over to the house and Bob Osborne was there. And Bob says, Michael, would you like me to teach you a new knot? And Michael worked at it and worked at it. Have you been doing that at home? Mm-hmm. Can you tie one in the background while we're doing this? Mm-hmm. Really? Should we put him to the task or not?
No.
We don't want to embarrass the poor kid?
Yeah.
Okay. Michael, we'll do it at another time. Perfect. All right. Isaac says, piss and fun, code word for the week.
Yeah.
Whether you're going to give a thing away or not, I say everybody runs around and says piss and fun. I couldn't agree more.
I don't know about
piss and fun. Do you have a piss and fun reel?
No.
Some guy, Robert Graber, I think it is, said that on our Ventura trip, May 31st, on board the Island Spirit, you can join us. He's bringing 2 piss and fun reels, one for me to use. And
Really?
when we rock fish, I actually fish sometimes.
Okay.
Because who the heck wants to see some guy winding up for 4 hours? You just get the photo of the guy with the dumb
Yeah.
fish when he's done. And so I can actually fish, and I love fishing for rockfish. So I'm going to be having some piss and fun May 31st. I'll tell you that right now,
Jeez.
Sam. I'll be on that Island Spirit throwing them on. Yeah.
Disappointing.
I'm starting to get wound up on this coffee, man. I didn't think I was going to make it through the show. Now
What
I'm
boat?
Island Spirit.
All right.
Yeah.
When is it?
May 31st.
All right.
Yeah. Are you going?
Don't you have a... Oh, no. That's somebody else.
What?
A trip.
Oh,
Another trip.
yeah, on the Island Spirit. I hope I don't have something else
Oh,
going
May
on.
31st.
Yeah.
I can't go.
Why? What are you thinking I got going
I
on?
don't know.
Now you're making me nervous.
I think you have another trip during that
Oh,
time.
I don't. I hope I don't. I'm trying to keep everything organized this year. All right, which would be a freaking miracle, let me tell you. Sarge says, happy late birthday, Phil.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you,
Happy
Sarge.
birthday, Mr. Phil.
Thank you, Sam. Hey, Michael.
old are you?
Yeah, no problem. 66 big ones. Woo! They said I wouldn't make
Congrats.
it. I don't look a day over 80, my wife
I
told me.
know.
Yeah, I love her so much. Yes, I am 66.
He guessed right.
Yeah. Oh, I was a joke saying I don't look a day over 80. Oh, he's got the line. He's going to do it.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
didn't
he's
see
not
I-
looking to let you.
You didn't see I brought it up right now?
Oh, no, I didn't see that,
I
actually.
walked over there.
I did see that, yeah.
I
I saw you go over there, then I got distracted, and then I didn't see what you did. This is how I thought I was coming back, but I'm still out of it.
I have lost a little bit of weight. I haven't lost that
You
much
have?
weight.
You're
Yeah,
looking
I
good.
haven't lost that much weight.
Yeah, you have. Yeah. Okay, back to this great show, right, Mackie? Or what are you thinking, you guys? Is this a good one tonight or not? No, it's not.
This is your interview, whether he's going to help you out or not.
Yeah, really. He passes, you know. He stuck it out for
He's like, I don't know
an
about
hour
this guy.
watching this.
Yeah.
You know, anybody can put up with this for an hour is hired. By the way, Mackie may be helping on the video end of this, so we're very happy to welcome him on board and welcome him as a part of the Friedman Adventures family. Doug, Ruben, El Sueño,
you
down
go,
in
Doug.
San Diego, California. Good evening, gentlemen. Doug, good to see you. Heading out this week to the Coronado Islands, and I'll keep you updated. I see Jorel in your future. Mucho Yellowtail. What do you think?
I think so too.
Me too. Even though this weather is going to result in
Yeah.
cooler water temperatures for sure, I still say he's going to get them.
get 'em.
Yeah. Michael Limon, what do you recommend for halibut? Tartar
Anchovies.
sauce is what I
Oh,
like.
yeah.
What do you like?
Yeah, tartar sauce is pretty good.
Tartar sauce is good.
Yeah,
What
Steamed
else?
vegetables?
Huh? Yes. Not for me. I'm
No?
carnivore.
Oh, that's right,
I
that's
just
right.
go straight, and the tartar sauce is
Yeah,
a
you
little
can't
iffy.
even have
but
that, yeah.
no, yeah, I
No
got
tartars.
If it's made out of prime rib, I can have it. Yeah, but I can't have it any other way. What do you recommend for halibut? Let's say surf fishing because Michael's a big surf fisherman.
Yeah, I guess that Lucky Craft.
The Lucky Craft.
Can't go wrong with that one. That catches more halibut than anything. That or drop shotting.
That's very effective also.
Yeah.
My kids do that all the time because they're bass fishermen. So they like that. I'll tell you, Sam, that frickin', I won't even say crocodile, a chrome jig, 3/4 ounce, works great in the
You ever
surf.
tried drop shotting before?
No.
No. Why not?
I don't know. It's kind of like freshwater bass, and I'm not into it. I don't know. I guess I could do it. There's something about it I don't like. I like throwing a jig and
But
winding
you've never
on
tried
it.
it, yeah.
No, I never have tried
So,
it.
but you don't like it.
I watch my.
Yeah.
Very good point. I must admit. I will try it with Mackie this weekend. He can film me my very first attempt at drop shotting.
You will eat an eel.
I've already
out
done
of
that.
Out of a can.
I
but
did
But
that.
you will not drop shot.
I ran into the guy.
That's where you draw the line.
Jack
Drop
Sepulveda.
shotting.
Jack Sepulveda sent those eels in, and he
Yeah.
told me, you got to eat those on crackers with some stuff on
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I said, well, Sam wouldn't even look at them, so what can I tell
They
you?
weren't for me. They were for you.
Doug says he'll see us at Day at the Docks. Unfortunately, I don't think Sam is going to be there either, but
No.
I'm not going to speak for him. I'm going to be on the Independence.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh,
Yeah.
You got to remember not to park in the parking lot.
Oh, where the hell do you park? Oh, you're right.
Yeah. You're going to get towed.
Oh, yeah. What a pain in the A that is. Where the frick do you park?
You get dropped off, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. I'll have to figure that out. Yeah, I hadn't
Maybe
thought
Greg,
about
maybe
that.
Greg will drop you off.
Huh?
Maybe Greg will drop you off.
Greg Bates?
Yeah.
Well, I just won't tell Greg. What do I care if he gets his card down? Yeah, perfect. All right. Geez, there's a lot of questions here, Sam, as we surge up over 100 viewers. Oh, my God, this is getting amazing right now. I don't care what Mackie says. All right, here we go. Scott, or no, who's next? Oh, here we are.
Martin.
Doug Rubin. No, we got
Martin.
Doug Rubin. Martin. Good evening, Sam and Phil. What type of rockfish descending devices do you recommend? Sam, you recommend hot oil in your frying pan, right? Is that the one?
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I actually don't have any here at the shop, but I think they have one called a sequelizer. That's probably, but I honestly don't know how
Great
many different
name,
ones-
by the way.
Yeah, I don't know how many more different ones there are out there. I think they all kind of work the same, so I don't know if there's one that really is better than the other.
Look at that.
Wow.
Is that good?
I think so. Pull on it.
Pretty good. Yeah, no slip.
Can you break it?
No, can you?
No.
That Michael Limon. You get a prize. You know what you get?
Chicken wing.
Mackie's going to take care of you with a raffle ticket. Yeah, I'll buy you one. How much are they?
$2 a piece.
Oh, I'll buy two.
Yeah.
No, good job. Yeah, that's good. The kid,
see.
he's on it.
Pull on it, man.
Sam's going to check it. 105 people watching the show. It's amazing. I can't believe it. Oh, my
Let
God.
me see. Go ahead.
I'm going to
Woo,
watch.
look at that.
Ooh.
Strong.
Boy, and that knot kind of singed down just perfectly now.
Shoo-wee.
Michael Limon, let's give him a hand, everybody. All right, AKA Michael, how's the baseball team raffle tickets coming along?
They're actually pretty going good.
Pretty darn good.
How many tickets you have left?
All right, he's going to go count them.
I wonder who sold more. Has he sold more raffle tickets or have you sold more shirts?
I would say raffle tickets
yeah.
for sure. I don't know. My shirt, I have
Yeah.
a entirely different
It's
division.
a different department.
Yes,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Mackey's handling the
Yeah.
videography from now on. The Friedman Adventures thing is starting to grow. Instead of one guy just going like, ah, running around, we've got all kinds of stuff. Are we going to actually sit here and watch him count them? Why don't we let him count them and answer another
12.
question?
He's got 12 left.
Okay. 12, everybody.
I was pretty sure that you were going to keep talking for that long. Anyway.
I'm totally out of it. All right. Scott Butchert wants to know, is Squid Trek good for bluefin tuna? Because Scott says he's got this 400-gram squid, and he said he's going to get slammed on it.
I'm sure he would.
Really?
Yeah, I don't see why not. Those things are
Well, because
giant.
Scott's fishing with it.
Yeah. Well, he's a good fisherman.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a revelation to me.
That's what Scott told me.
Yeah. He'll tell you that all day. Are they good?
I'm sure they will be.
You're not like going like giving it a full endorsement.
Well,
or
they
anything.
just came out.
Okay.
So, yeah. So we haven't had them. In that big size like that.
But is that what they're made for?
They're just a deep water lure. Like any of these knife jigs are. I don't think knife jigs are made for bluefin, but they catch bluefin on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Matthew says, all my fishing friends are fat and have wide feet. Boy, you must know me here, huh? What boot do you recommend for us skinny dudes with narrow feet? Man, he just laid into the fat guys with the wide feet. Just punched them right between the eyes.
I know.
Fat asses with their large fat feet. What's wrong with you? No, I'm kidding. Getting carried away.
You are.
Yeah. What do you recommend for a skinny guy that?
So the extra tough 6-inch deck boots. I think they're called ankle deck boots or something like that. Those are a little more narrow, kind of like if you were wearing Vans or something like that. They're not super narrow, I guess. I don't know if there's a narrow sizing for a shoe, but they're more of a standard shoe, like pretty narrow. Like even myself, I really couldn't get into them. Like I wear like a size 10. I can't fit a size 10 in those boots. So I don't know if that's going to be more of a regular size. I don't think it's a narrow size, more of a regular size. But definitely, I'm one of those fat guys with the fat feet, and I can't fit in those. So that would probably be the one you wanted to use.
All right, perfect. Jacob Romero says, what's your opinion on the Makaira 15T?
15.
15T?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's a very, very nice reel, actually. Probably one of our better selling reels from Okuma. The uniqueness about that reel is it kind of falls in between a real small reel, like a jig master size reel, and then you get into the larger reels that are like 100-pound reels, like the 16. So that 15T is a pretty unique size. And also, too, it comes with a big power handle. It has low gearing. It fits about 500 yards of 80-pound braid, and has been one of the nicest reels. It had come out just as that yellowfin tuna became a thing at Guadalupe Island.
Yeah.
And so it was like the most perfect reel. Fly line's really good, and it would basically a nice like 60-pound fly line reel. This bluefin typically doesn't bite 60-pound fly line, and so you don't find as many uses for it doing that. But a lot of guys use it fishing the sinker rig for the bluefin tuna. It's a small reel that packs a big punch.
All right, perfect. Jason Allen, who is in Alaska, Sam, an Alaska viewer, says, good evening, Tackle Shop Confessions, Phil and friends. That's one well-stocked tackle shop, so I can see. Maybe the biggest in LA County. Have a good and safe evening. Sam, it is. I mean, you got it all in here, right?
Right. Lots of it, too.
You want to elaborate on that a little bit? I mean, you got freshwater, you got saltwater, you've got, if you want to build a custom rod, you've got all that. Hooks.
Clothing, we got the sunglasses. I mean, we got bamboo to make gaffs. I mean, pretty much everything. I mean, I shouldn't say everything. We're not as heavy in maybe some of the freshwater stuff.
Yeah.
We do have a freshwater aisle where we have, your kind of everyday stuff, some worms, worm hooks, all the trout stuff, things like that. But we don't have like some of the other shops have. We don't have any fly fishing stuff. So, we don't have carp. I know that's kind of a big deal for some guys. But everything else, we're pretty dang well stocked. All the inshore stuff, offshore stuff. Fishing down in Baja, fishing. Even up Ventura, Rockfish, all that kind of stuff. We're pretty well stocked. And then, like you mentioned, the rod building. I'm sure we have more rod building stuff than anybody probably west of the Mississippi, maybe.
Really?
Yeah, I would think. As far as saltwater stuff.
Yeah.
I know some of the other shops in the Midwest carry a lot of like bass rod building stuff. But definitely in California, for sure, we have more than anybody as far as rod building stuff.
Yeah, I got to get a hold. Speaking of that 310 Roadworks, I got to get a hold of because I want to talk to him about that. He caught a giant yellowfin down in Puerto Vallarta, didn't he?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
what, a 280 or something?
I
Or
don't know, like 380 or something.
whoa,
I don't know. It was pretty big. It was over 300, I think.
that's a nice one,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
There's very few of those type of fish around.
Yep.
That's a great one. All right, Tyler Tanaka is talking to Scott Butchert.
Wow.
Or Buchert, whatever his name is. And he says squid treks are awesome. Caught nice yellows at Cedros on them, but I would not trust the stock assist hook for big tuna. Agree or disagree?
Yeah, I think on that larger one that Scott was talking about, I think it comes with some larger assist hooks. But yeah, you want to maybe keep an eye on that. If they're not very heavy duty, you can probably change them out.
All right, perfect. Matthew wants to know, as our owner, Hyperwire split rings, a sufficient upgrade for bluefin jigs, or do you recommend the owner Ultras?
So on the Hyperwire, it's a little bit thinner wire, but they make them into a pretty big size. So you get into that 9 and 10 size, it'd be no problem for the bluefin. If you wanted just to go to a smaller overall diameter, then you would have to go with the Ultras to keep it a smaller diameter. But those larger size ones, like for the hooks that I was showing you earlier, those larger ones work fine.
All right, Michael Limon. Sam, I'm trying to be a pinhead, and the Y said I need to log in my hours on the water and the lake. Does that count? You don't need hours to be a pinhead, Michael.
The Y, you mean
Did
YMCA?
somebody, who's the Y?
Oh, I meant to put they.
They.
Oh, and they. Who's they?
The
Guys on Monte Carlo or something?
Steve-O on the Monte Carlo.
Steve-O.
He's a
Steve-O was
log-
here today.
He was, yeah.
Yeah, I saw him. I found a bunch of old photos of his father. So I told hey, I got him
okay.
down there. Yeah. You don't have to have hours to be a pinhead.
That counts. Yeah, tell them that counts. Yeah.
Yeah.
You log your hours on the lake.
But yeah, I guess that shows experience on the water. Yes. Are you going to say something, or I don't want to cut you, turn away from you if you're going to say something? Okay. I thought I was going to say something. I didn't want to be rude.
Still imposing.
Starting to go down a hill really fast there. Mike Galletta, hi guys. What would your setup be if you are targeting rockfish 400 to 500 feet?
yeah.
Now we're going to talk about, what are we going to talk about? Slow pitch.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So I mean, either you just need a giant weight. I mean, you get into that 32-ounce stuff or a 2-pound rock cod weight or something like that to get down there. As far as a setup, if you're using that style with like a traditional 2-hook, shrimp fly type Ganyan, you're gonna need probably 2 pounds of weight and a little bit larger reel, something that'll probably hold 400 or 500 yards of some 65-pound braid. A lot of guys, like you're saying, that slow pitch, that's kind of becoming the thing guys are using for that type of fishing, and you can get into a much lighter weight rod and reel, something like a Torium 16 or a Saltis 35. And the trick with that though is going to be fishing lighter braid. You're fishing like 30-pound braid, 40-pound max size braid, and the reason for that is that it cuts through the water, so you can get down and stay vertical with a lot less weight if you have skinnier line. Some guys are even using 20-pound braid, like really, really small stuff on smaller reels. And it's not necessarily that they want to be lightweight. It's really more that the skinny braid cuts through the water and allows you to stay vertical with the same size jig. And you can get down there with sometimes with maybe like a 300-gram or 400-gram jig versus, what I'm talking about is almost like 1,000-gram or something like that,
Yeah.
like gigantic, So you can get down there with half the weight if you're using half the size of the line.
Sam, if I had to guess as to whether you like rock fishing or not, my guess would be absolutely. Am I right?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I like all kinds of fishing, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially now with the slow pitch stuff, it kind of makes rock fishing a little more fun too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, that's just for that reason, it's kind of cool now.
Yeah, in fact, we're playing around with the idea of doing some kind of a trip
Right,
like that, right?
right.
We'll think about that,
Yeah,
right?
maybe these guys can chime in whether or not they'd be into a slow pitch.
Yeah, would you guys be into a slow pitch jigging for deep water rockfish? If yes, Sam and I are thinking about hosting a day and going out, and we'll bring Michael Limon with us and Dan Light, whatever his name is, and
I'll drop the jig
Mackie.
and Michael can wind it in.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
you go. Yeah. Oh, I got a good one. Here you go, Michael. Yeah, perfect. All right, very good. Tim Marquez. You know Tim from A Best Income Tax. Tim's the best. Tim, by the way, is on our 5-day independence trip. Bob Gifford just bit the bullet and signed up. How'd you know he signed up?
He was in here, he was talking about it.
Yeah, he's all excited.
Yeah, he is.
So I think that's a perfect trip for him too, because, he has some physical things going on. And like I told him, I go, dude, you know, you don't want to. You catch a fish and you're done.
Yeah.
Go relax.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
sit down for a little while.
Use the gear properly. Take your time.
Yeah. All right. Tim says the dealer right here. Dealer gave him some jigs, and he's looking forward to using them on the Indy trip. So there you go. We're going to be using them on the Indy trip. Sounds like, because Tim's got some, so that's great. Nate Saul. Nate was the guy that was asking about the charter boat and the open party boat. So he's talking about 6-packs as opposed to larger boats. 6-pack, or Nate, or do you want a 6-pack? You get. They have all the gear. So if you don't want to show up with your gear, even in Mexico, there's a guy down there, Louis Prieto, on It's For Real Sport Fishing. You don't have to show up with a hook. He's got it on. All these 6-packs pretty much do that. So they've got all your gear if that's an issue for you. And you're going to get a lot more, I would say, personal attention on a 6-pack. It's going to be a little more pricey, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, and also, too, like if you wanted to do a certain type of fishing, so sometimes you get on an overnight boat, they're going to go where the majority of the group can catch something, or maybe they're targeting big fish. So, you know, even though maybe the fishing might be tough, they're like, okay, we're bluefin fishing. We're going to Cortez.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to do. With a 4 or 6-pack, you can tell them, you know what, I want to do some halibut drifts, or I want to go calico bass fishing.
Yeah.
Or I want to try for white sea bass, you know, or I want to tuna fish.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you have a little bit more control as to what you're going to do on the trip. So that's another added value.
Yeah. I know my kids, they fish a boat called the Prime Time once in a while out of San Diego, and they love Jake. They say he does a great job. So, I mean, I like 6-packs. I like sport boats, I think, better. I don't know why, probably because I grew up on them.
Yeah.
And I fish a lot of 6-packs too, but you know, one thing about a sport is the bait capacity is you usually don't have a problem with chumming. And sometimes on a 6-pack, you can run into some bait issues.
Just that comfort too of a big boat. You get down the bunk there and you just want to take a nap. To me, I mean, I kind of, to me, I feel like how easily you can go to sleep and get down to the bunk is a big priority for me. You know, I mean, I work a lot of hours, and these trips a lot of times, you know, that
you're catching up on some rest in addition to fishing
is a big priority for me. I fish a lot, but I rest a lot too.
Yeah, I hear you. I know exactly what you mean, man.
Yeah.
All right, Matthew. Hey, Matthew, good to see you back here again. Got a 3-day trip on the Shogun in July and taking my 10-year-old. Man, that's going to be magical, Matthew.
That's cool.
Want to add spinning setup for him. If you had to pick one, what do you recommend for an all-around setup that a kid could easily handle? That's going to be an awesome time for you and your son.
So a 10-year-old kid, you're probably going to be looking at a 7.5 foot rod. The reel, I'd probably look into something that is like a maybe Saltis MQ or BGMQ 6000 or 8000 to be about the size, you know. 10-year-old kid, you know, can vary in size. So if he's a smaller 10-year-old, you know, you might kind of go on the smaller side. As a bigger 10-year-old, you can maybe go a little bit bigger. You know, that age, they start kind of like, you know, where you have some kids are bigger than others. But something in a 6,000 to 8,000 size, maybe even up to a 10,000, but that might be kind of pushing it. But 6,000 to 8,000 in that Saltis or BGMQ from Daiwa is kind of what I would go with. There's a few other ones out there, but use that as a guide as to maybe your line capacity and price, what I think that would be good. Also look at the weight of the reel when you start looking. In the same line capacity are going to be definitely heavier than others. So try to get one that's a little lighter.
Excellent. Hit that like button, everybody. Sam, these guys are making this such a great show with these great questions.
I know.
And I just looked. We're not getting out of here anytime
Really?
soon. There's like 30 questions to go, man.
I'm going to just give you some one-word answers then.
No. These people deserve our full attention. Let me tell you, Mackey's like, when the hell am I getting out of here? Look at him.
I'm earning his wings tonight.
Yeah, he is. All right, here we go. Great question, by the way. Sniper Gene, for surface irons, is it more effective to tie them directly or use a tactical clip?
No, next.
All right, Joel says, what's up,
Real
guys?
quick on that,
AKA the sack.
So that question is, I wouldn't call it more effective, but I will say that it is easier to change out your jigs. So if you're in a situation where maybe you don't really have an idea what you want to go with, or maybe you want to go with different sizes, that tactical clip will make it really easy to change from a smaller jig, bigger jig, or different colors.
Pushing up toward 130 viewers.
Wowzers.
Wow. Oh, my God. Joel Lopez. What's up, guys? Joel, good to see you here, my friend. Isaac, rockfish season right around the corner. That's April 1st. You're absolutely right. What are your thoughts, Sam?
They should close it again.
Yes,
No.
100%.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Yeah. So you're gonna
Except
do
the weather's going to be crappy.
Yeah, I don't know about the first day. I don't. It's not gonna be too good.
I don't know that I don't want to put maybe it's not. I haven't really looked at it that closely.
Yeah. Well, I
Is
mean,
it going to be
it
crappy?
should be. You should be right along the, like your albacore prediction. So you usually guess pretty good. Yeah.
Well, I should say it's going to be crappy.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be sunny and warm
Yeah.
and flat.
But you gotta
calm.
believe it though. You gotta really believe it.
I got to look at the forecast.
Okay.
Am I still looking like
Data?
I'm awake here, or do I look kind
You
of
look
bad?
very awake.
Thank
Do
you.
Do you feel awake?
No.
Okay.
Steve Bermudez, who was out there at Bass Pro Shop. Steve, it was great to see you. My friend, what do you think of jigs or lures with eyeballs on them? Do you think it makes a difference?
Sometimes.
That's a hell of an answer.
I think if you believe it, then yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, Steve will
for
believe
sure.
anything,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Joe Lopez, hey, Sam, is there any artificial that works well for sheephead? Any shrimp artificials? Because
No.
that's a good question, actually.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes they will eat an artificial, but by and large, a store-bought shrimp, you're just not going to beat it, About what you could do is they do have like shrimp flavor spray and gel and things like that. You could throw that on a plastic and probably do a little bit better, but man, by and large, that shrimp, I don't think you can beat it.
Yeah, buying the shrimp and
Yeah.
taking it out with you, right?
Yeah.
That does work well. I've been pushing ghost shrimp, and some guys have been reporting back and saying
Yeah.
it works really good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because you're essentially fishing with a live bait at that point.
Yeah. I mean, any kind of shrimp.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're way better.
All right, Sam wants to move this along, folks, so here we go. Hey, Phil, love the faded hat. Where is the white one? Boy,
Yeah.
Rick, I'll come up with that. The faded one is beautiful. Yes, I picked that myself, Sam. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. And if you notice,
out of the dumpster?
if you notice, this has a hole here. So if you happen to have like
A hat with a hole?
a ponytail.
Wow, where'd you find that?
Well, this one.
Oh my
does
gosh,
too.
it has a hole too.
Do they all have a hole? That's what the guy who sold it to. Does that one have a hole? What's he talking about?
underwear
He told me
has
this
holes
one's
in it.
great for women because they all have a hole.
Was it the homeless guy that was walking down the street?
I guess. It seems like it now.
Yeah.
Gee whiz. I'm going to kill that guy.
Yeah. he
Made a
missed-
fool out of me
he
in
missed
front of
one.
everybody. I did? What did I miss? Which
Hal.
one? Hal. I'm sorry, Hal. Howdy, Sam and Phil. What length rod would you suggest for a newbie to cast surface irons? 12 feet.
I wouldn't get too caught up in the length of the rod. Any length will work. Probably the reel. Making sure a reel that's comfortable in your hands. And you might want to start off with one of these bait casters. Years ago we kind of like looked down upon those guys that were throwing iron on these bait casters, but man, they do work so good. And for a guy who's just getting started, I think that's a great way to go. One of these being that Lexa 500 would probably be one of the better ones for a new guy to cast. And as far as the length, maybe anything in 8.5 to 9.5 foot length, with obviously 9 foot being kind of a sweet spot, I think would be just fine. Don't be scared of the length of the rod. It's going to be the reel that's going to be what helps you out.
All right, www.embroiderycreations.net, where you can purchase a hat with a hole in it tonight. Yeah. All right, where are we now? Oh, one more question Matthew has on the multi-tangle situation. Say tips are together and we're waiting on a deckhand.
No.
Should anyone free spool?
No. Keep the
What
lines
happens when you
tight.
free spool?
Well, the guy that is not free spooled is going to
Get
cut
sawed off, right?
Yeah.
And he's going to be very angry with you.
Yeah.
Joel Lopez, any update on the land-based Cedro?
Oh, yeah, when are you doing that trip?
I'm working on that.
Okay.
Yes. No, Joel, but I have the feelers out, and we're working diligently on it. We
Yeah.
should have an answer.
Land-based Cedros fishingtrip.net.
We're going to have an answer in May for you, okay? 2028. We will have that all worked out for you. All right. Thanks for reminding me about that. Jay says, awesome show. Ocean Jigger 4000. What kind of braid and pound tests would you spool it up with?
80.
80.
80 multicolor.
Is that it? We're moving on now?
Yeah, 80 multicolor. The Power Pro Depth Hunter Offshore.
And Mackie now is joining in on the fun.
Coming in on it.
Yeah. Sam, can you please open this damn door so I can get the hell out of here? Sam, I'm going to be running around on a bunch of boats this season, filming some crazy guy. What's your recommendation for a good, comfy boot?
So,
Who's he talking about?
I don't know. But the boot, yeah. The boot, I would say, if you can feel comfortable in the original extra tough 12-inch boot, that's probably going to be your best solution. Now, that's not always the most comfortable boot depending on your foot. I still use it, even though I have a little bit wider foot. It's just about the limit of what I can wear. The thing that I like about it is that I take the insert out and I put in like a comfort type insert, and that's good enough for me. Extra Tough does also make a wheelhouse boot, which is extra wide. In fact, I mean, it's probably a 4E width at least. So if that's something that you normally buy for your shoes, I probably would recommend that one. But if you can get into in fact, they're right here. We got these. It's a 12-inch boot. If you can get into one of those, that's probably going to be long term. But I would definitely recommend switching out the insert.
All right, Mackie, excellent question. And no, you can't get out of here. Tyler Tanaka. Sam, what's the average amount of 65-pound braid you've seen spooled on the new Lexa 500?
300 yards.
That's it? Okay. That's it, right? We don't want to elaborate anymore on this. Let's move on.
300 yardas.
300 yardas.
Yeah.
¿Y qué más?
50 fathoms.
Okay.
What else you got?
Yeah, you're right. 50 fathoms. Yes. Abraham Esparza. Abraham, I don't think I've seen you here for a while. It's good to see you, my friend. Well over 100 people watching all night tonight.
Wow.
Very good. Phil, I'm a private boater who plans on starting a channel this fishing season. Any advice? Sure, I will give you some advice. Be consistent. Do something every day. Every single time you do a report, Abraham, you're going to get better. So get used to doing this. Get used to doing it every day. Look for interesting content. Use a lot of shorts to get subscribers. Those are just a few things that come to mind right now. And if you need any more advice, send me a text, 657-227-6459, and I'll see if I can help you further. Find somebody else that you can work with, like Sam. I mean, I love working with Sam. There's no doubt that has helped our channel immensely. Working with him, you can find somebody, a quality person. Somebody better than Sam would even be better, actually. But no, just kidding.
If you're looking for somebody, some good chicken wings might steal me away from.
There you go. Yeah, really. Yeah, find someone. Yeah, really. If you buy him chicken wings, he's gone from this show. I got a little tight last week, so he's out of here. All right, but if I can help in any way, just let me know. Chris Navarro. Hey, Chris, man, we miss you here tonight. Hey, Sam. I am, and the birthday boy, Phil. Sorry, I'm late. No problem, Chris. Better late than never. Camargo numero uno. Sam, what are some of your favorite things about fishing on the Royal Star? Phil, what's your go-to surf fishing setup? You want to go first or me?
So that Royal Star, it's kind of a family affair for me. I've been fishing with those guys for probably 15 years now. And so those guys they've taken care of me, since day one. So to me, I always feel like it's a place that I can go, feel like I'm at home with a bunch of guys that I know. Other thing too is that I can recommend it, so even if it's not our trip, I can always feel like if I recommend that boat to a customer, that they're going to be treated right. So that means a lot for us.
So important.
So it's a big deal. The boat itself, super comfortable. It's got 12 staterooms, and it's 2-person per stateroom only. So it's pretty roomy as far as accommodations. And they fish hard, just like any other boat does, but they fish hard. I've had a lot of great trips on that boat, so just kind of been lucky to have landed with those guys.
Yeah, and Sam, the business that both of us are in, when we recommend something, you need it to be top notch.
Yeah,
you cannot send somebody to some crap operation.
You have a bad experience, It
and
reflects
you're going to get blamed,
and
I'm going to get blamed, and rightfully so.
Right.
Yeah. All right, good stuff. The same thing with me when I recommend recommend tackle store. Go to Island Fishing Tqckle. I know some guys are going to walk in that door, nobody here knows them, and somebody's going to say, hey, good morning, how can I help you?
Right.
And so, same thing. All right, Chris Navarro.
What's your go-to fishing?
Oh, yeah, my go-to for sure, 100%, is, I don't have to go get any bait. I don't have to do anything. I like a steelhead 10-foot rod. So I say steelhead rod because you can pick one at Bass Pro. I saw one for $69. I'm sure Sam's got them here. A steelhead rod, 10 feet, with a 5/8 or 3/4 ounce chrome jig. Like a crocodile, it's my go-to. Man, I can grab that, walk out on the beach, and be fishing right away. And I don't have to mess around with bait. I don't have to mess around with any of that. Sometimes I get very tempted, especially in the winter when fish in the surf don't bite the jigs that well, to go to bait because that's how you're going to get a bite in the wintertime. Sometimes I get tempted to do it, but most of the time I fight off the temptation and I stay throwing that thing like 200 times, and you're lucky to get one yellowfin croaker. But when you move into spring and the water gets warmer and you get into summer,
activity, yeah.
you're bit all day long on that thing, man. It's so good. And I fish that 4-hour window most of the time, 2 hours before the high tide till 2 hours after the high. You get the incoming and the outgoing, and you never know. It's like when they're going to bite.
Right.
Sometimes they're on that incoming, sometimes they're on the outgoing, sometimes they're on both. So I would say that's my go-to. It's so easy. It really facilitates the whole experience and makes it a lot of fun. All right, we are going back to Christopher Navarro, who says the butterfly jig is the best yellowtail jig. Yep, I'm biased. Is it?
Yeah, he is biased.
Yeah, I know he is. Any comment on the butterfly jig?
It's a good jig. Yeah, I mean, he's been fishing those jigs. Actually, we fished together 15 years ago on that first trip that I did on the Royal Star, and he's been using them since back then.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And killing them.
Killing them, yeah.
Good deal. All right, Chris. Hey, how long has it been since Chris was here with the tri-tip?
2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Yeah,
3
Chris, come on. Just kidding you. Rick Slater, no, I'm not. Rick Slater, albacore from piers, salmon from skiffs in Newport.
Could be.
Yeah, well, salmon from skiffs in Newport for sure, and Redondo for sure, back in 75 for sure, because I just put a short up about that. Albacore from piers, I never heard of that one.
No. It'd be a pretty long pier.
Yeah, right. Out to the 60-mile bank, that's for sure. Tyler Tanaka. Jay, just for your information, I have 550 yards of the 80-pound Max Quattro, same diameter as 65, on my OSHA Jigger 4000 to go after big bluefin tuna.
Yep, sounds good, yeah. I mean, I prefer that multicolor, but I know a lot of guys will put that Max Quattro 80-pound. You get a little bit more yardage.
All right, and Jay says, thank you, Tyler. What a polite group of people we have here.
So nice.
Well over 100 people watching at all times tonight. Hit that like button. So, Mackie, if you hit the like button, we get 10 more likes in the next minute. Mackie cannot escape us tonight. That is for sure. All right, no, we just did Tyler. Shaylu Matthew wants to know how the PCS show treated you.
Great, yeah. I was super busy. Just like all the other shows, we had a lot of sales and a lot of good people come through the booth, man. It was awesome.
Right. Michael Limon says, Sam.
Don't be mean.
To who?
Just read the question.
Oh, it's that bad, huh? Sam, what do you recommend for and what rig? Excellent question, Michael. I would not have any criticism at all about that.
What would you recommend?
I don't know what he's talking about.
Okay, now read the next one.
Oh, okay, sure. Why didn't I read the next one? For Corbina. For Corbina. And you put a B. A lot of people put a V. Good job. It is a Corbina.
Light line.
Yes.
4 to 6 pound test, maybe even 2 pounds some guys use, One of the things is, sand crabs and that ghost shrimp. But sometimes you got to stay out of the water. Don't step in the water. Those things, they sense you. Try not to run around too much. They can feel you running around up and down the beach. Yeah, so if you see some or you're going to fish one area, just don't move your feet, fan cast, and then if you're going to move, walk and then stop and then fish again.
What about the Carolina rig or?
Yeah, Carolina rig for sure. But sometimes even with those sand crabs, you'll fly line them. No weight at all. And that's hard to do if you get a little bit of wind because they're going to blow right back at you. But yeah, I mean, you don't want to move a whole lot. Stay quiet.
Excellent question, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know why he said don't make fun of him. I would
didn't say
never.
that.
What'd you say? Be nice.
I said don't be mean, yeah.
Okay. I'm never mean, am I?
Never.
When have I ever been
You were
mean?
going to start.
To my
A nice thing, a nice thing, nice thing.
He's a kid. He's a child.
You don't care.
The
Yes,
tops.
you are a child. You are.
That
a kid.
is true. I told my wife I was going to start acting mature when I turned 70.
Yeah.
She didn't believe it. She goes, no, that's not happening. All right. The tops. Love the show. Thank you so much for that. Thanks again, guys. Have had my Braid backing on for a couple of years. When do you replace Braid? Thanks for the kind words.
On Tuesdays.
Tuesday night. This is Tuesday, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I mean, if it's good and you haven't caught into any big tangles, one of the things, if you have any kind of concern, let's just say, you had it on there and you're just kind of rolling around the back of your mind. You don't want to throw away all that Braid, but you want to feel confident about it. One of the things you can do is flip it over. If your reel has enough line, let's say it's got 500 yards of Braid, you probably only use that top 150 yards. So if you just flip it around, you're going to have a whole bunch of brand new Braid at the bottom of your reel, and you're good to go for a while.
All right, beautiful. Hey, Chris Navarro just sent $20 in.
Woo.
He wants 6 baseball raffle tickets from Michael, 3 for Luna, and 3 for Diego.
Oh, there
Your
you go.
kids.
All right.
Well, wait a minute. 6? That's only $12. He sent 20.
6. Well, I don't know. You got some change coming.
He's got Navarro does,
Yeah.
or we're going to split it and go buy some chicken wings
yeah.
with it. All right, there you go. If you can figure that out, you got it. All right, I'm trying to get back now because I jumped down because I wanted to recognize him for his kindness and generosity.
You're at Omar.
Omar, Omar, my friend that I met at the
Yep.
show.
Omar.
You remember that? How I met the guy Omar, and then he came on. It's probably this guy Omar, and I said, Omar, it was so good to
man,
see you at
you're
the
so
show.
lost.
I know. Am I close? Oh, yeah, here we are. I know where I am now. Calm down, Sam. I know you want to get out of here. I know you're tired, but, he gave you the tickets already? Here we are.
These are the winning tickets right here.
Where the hell is Omar? Here we go. Don't go anywhere, everybody. I will have this. Here we go, Omar. Hey, Sam and Phil. Long time. Yeah, it has been a long time. Just wanted to drop a quick hello your way. Hope you're both doing awesome. Wishing you a fantastic day ahead filled with
Thanks,
good vibes
Omar.
and great moments. I love Omar.
Yeah, he's great.
Did I tell you I met him out in front of the Bart
Yep,
Hall show?
yep.
And yeah, we hugged and
Yeah, 2 Omars.
yeah, it was so beautiful.
double
It
the
was-
Omar.
Omar, thank you. Really appreciate that. Jacob Romero, Tyler Tanaka, what size squid track do you usually use? Boy, they're going right by you now and going right to Tyler, huh?
Shoot. Well,
They don't care
Tyler's
what
got the
you
good info.
recommend. Tim Marquez, hey, Sam and Phil, what's the turnaround time right now for a new Top Shot on a dozen reels? He's trying to get ready for this independent
If you
trip.
bring them
Help
in
the man.
right now, I'll do them while you wait.
There you are. And how many ribs?
Right
Or
now.
I mean, how many wings do you want? Yeah, Tim, bring them in with 50 wings and
Yeah.
you're good.
No, you'd probably be a couple hours, I would think. It really depends on who showed up before you. We don't really take reservations, so to speak, but a dozen reels, I mean, I'm sure if you dropped them off one day, we'd have them done by the next day.
Oh, really? Okay, so it's not some like huge.
2 weeks or nothing like that.
Yeah.
No. In fact, if you drop them off early enough in the morning, we'd probably have them done by the afternoon.
Richard Escalante, since it's very best to both of us, Sam. Are you
All
going to say
right.
hi to Richard or
I'm
not?
filling out my tickets here, man.
Well, you got to say hi. The man went out of his way to say
Richard.
Thank you. Hi, Sam and Phil. Stoked on the Bluefin showing again, says Chris Inslee. I think we're all stoked on that, aren't we, Sam? Mm-hmm. What are you
I'm
filling
super
those out
stoked.
now for? Like the
When we're
raffle's
done,
like next week.
I want to get straight to the wings afterward.
All right. Chris is stoked about the Bluefin tuna. You're going to say hi?
I would. Chris, get down here. He lives up north.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, by Sacramento or something like that. He used to live down here in Orange County, but he moved up there. But you need to get down here, Chris, do some of this bluefin fishing.
Yeah, let's do that. Kevin says, hi, Phil. I got spring break in 2 weeks and hopefully looking into getting out on my first day and a half out of San Diego. Do you recommend to wait a little or try it out? I'm not sure what you mean. I think what you mean is fishing good enough? And Kevin, that is all going to be based on weather. It's going to be entirely based on weather. So if you can kind of look at the forecast and look at the fishing, see how it is, and then make your booking, then you're going to be in good shape. If you book like 3 weeks out right now, I don't think that's necessary, number one, and you just have no clue how the weather's going to be. And if it's going to be windy, you're going to be in trouble.
Well,
maybe.
If it means that if you fish then as opposed to fishing like in August, then yeah, if you can only do one of the two, I'd wait till August.
Yeah.
But if you can do both, if you can fish, I wouldn't see, if the weather's good, I wouldn't see any reason to not be positive thinking that you're going to be catching some tuna coming up in a couple of weeks. But like Phil's saying, is take a look at the weather, see what's going on, and you really don't need to book that far ahead. I don't think the boats are filling up quite yet.
They're not.
But some boats will be full, but you'll be able to find one spot for sure somewhere. But I wouldn't trade this trip for a trip in like August if you're looking like that way. Yeah.
Right. And Kevin and everybody out there listening, I mentioned the weather as being something that will help you determine whether to go or not. Saying at the same time, we were getting on our 5-day trip on board the Independence, and the forecast was for crap weather. In fact, so crappy that a guy that was standing there with all his gear went up in the office and said, "No way, I'm not going out in this hurricane." And
Really?
he got off the trip. We killed him. It was breezy, but on that, what is that thing, 110 feet or something? I mean, that boat fished so well in that weather, and we killed them every single day. We had more fish than you could ever possibly imagine.
Well, the other thing too is if you go fishing in August, you catch albacore.
That's right. Yes, albies are going to be in, right?
They won't be in a couple.
They're going to be mixed with wahoo and what else?
Yep.
Dorado. Everything's going to be in. Yeah, short bill spearfish.
Yep.
Rainbow
Blue
runners.
marlin.
Yeah, blue marlin.
Sierra.
Yeah.
Roosterfish.
Oh my God, Sam, you're getting carried away.
What happened?
I don't know.
No.
All right, here we go. Back to the great show tonight. Steve Bermudez says, next he'll be painting sunglasses and in little feet on the jigs and lures.
I know. That's good. Good point. I don't know what that means.
Steve gets gets into the tequila a little bit once in a while.
Is your name Steve Bermudez?
Oh, that's not me.
I think that sounds like
I
something
can
you would
introduce.
say.
He's one of the nicest guys in the world. Steve's a great guy. Got a funny sense of humor. Great guy. As you can tell by that joke he just cracked.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Does he write your jokes?
No. All right, he didn't have anything to do with the Pissin' Fun reel, did he?
Could be.
He
I don't
might
know.
have,
At
man.
this point now.
Joel Lopez, what's the best way to catch a halibut on artificials? Drop shot.
Drop shot.
Which I've never tried and I don't like.
Yeah,
Even though I've never tried it, I don't like
That's
it.
probably why you don't catch any halibut.
That's why I catch halibut all
Yeah.
the time.
But yeah, drop shotting is probably your best if from the surf. If you're talking about from a boat, honestly, you're probably fishing bait is going to be better. But sometimes you can fish like plastics, regular plastics on a lead head, depending on how deep you're fishing. But I'd say in the surf, that Lucky Craft's going to be your number one.
All right, very good. Jeremy Fontenot, who's a great guy, says the website says Friedman Adventures on Ultra shirts. Read this twice. What does it say? What kind of shirts?
Ultra. Ulta. Read this twice.
Read it twice. Read it. Go ahead. Read it twice, and then we can move on.
He's saying he read it twice.
And what does it mean?
I don't know. Maybe he's talking about the same thing that I was saying about it didn't have the sizing.
Maybe, yeah. I'll call my guy. There's nothing I can do about it right now, but I'm on
what
it.
size he wants. He's probably a
He
large.
just ordered. He's the guy that put.
But maybe he didn't have the size.
He bought a shirt.
Oh, okay.
He said a mission accomplished or whatever.
All right.
Like George Bush in the Middle East that time. All right. Okay. I'm not sure what that means.
Or maybe
Jeremy.
it says Friedman Adventures.
Oh, it does say Friedman. That's what. Oh, that's sacrilege. Now, Jeremy, I'm mad. Ruining my name like
Well,
that.
he didn't do it.
I know. I'm mad at the guy. Jeremy's pointing. I'm not mad at Jeremy. He's trying to help me out.
So when he asked you to proofread it,
He didn't ask me to because
He
I don't
didn't-
have time to
and
do
you
it.
didn't-
When he asked me to go look at the website today, and I got him time to do that.
and
You
didn't-
read it.
and you didn't ask him if he could proofread it.
I told him to take care of that. I don't have time to frickin' proofread everything.
So then it's not
Making
your fault.
content with guys like you.
It's not your fault then, right?
100% right. It's not my damn fault. Just like when
Chris Navarro he said it's all misspelled.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, God darn this guy. If I could get a message to him right now live on air, I would do it, but I'm not going to do that. All right. We'll take care of that, guys. Thanks for pointing that out. Richard Escalante, Trinidad 16 NA Spectra line size, paired with a Seeker G6 48
6480.
6480 CT 20 to 40.
Yeah, probably going to be 50-pound braid on that guy. Probably what I'd recommend, 50-pound braid.
Jeremy with a hand clap. Thank you, Jeremy. Tyler Tanaka at Jacob Romero. I use the same system as jigs based on water depth, 1 gram per 1 foot of water, or 1 ounce per 30 feet of water. Got that?
There you go.
Have you used that before, Sam?
I use it every day.
No, that sounds very good. Michael Ferreira says, I see you have the charter list out, but haven't heard about the disabled trip you were going to set up. Another one I screwed up, huh? No, Michael, we haven't done that. That's a hard one to do. I think I recommended to you last year that you jump on a trip that had that kind of a thing. So if I set up a charter trip, I put $8,000 out there. I've got to get $8,000 of people who are disabled to go on the boat for me to break even. So it's very difficult. I think the best way is for you to contact me, and then I can find a boat who'd be happy to take care of you. I think that's the best way to handle it, Michael. Last year, I think I recommended you wanted to take your grandson, as I remember, and there was a boat that was going, and we talked to them, and they said they'd be glad to help you out. Why don't you let me do that for you again this year? Contact me, and I'll find a boat for, what are you doing? Oh, you're still goofing off with those? And I'll find a boat for you. How's that sound, Michael? Rob S., is the Fat Fall 500-gram jig too big?
That's not too big at all.
Okay. It's kind of a fat one, though, isn't it?
It falls, though.
Scott Butchert is not going to give up. How is the squid trick for bluefin tuna?
Earlier, I thought it was okay. Now I'm not so sure.
Why, because he asked twice?
Yeah.
You know what? You ain't seen nothing yet. He'll ask me the same question 400,000 times. If he knows the answer to it, he'll still answer
He
it.
just loves hearing your voice.
Oh, my God. I'm getting nightmares tonight. Tim Marquez, I'll send you the money for the last 12 tickets Michael has. Michael, you got 12 tickets left?
No, he's got 6 left.
Oh, he's got 6 left, Tim.
Act quickly.
There you are. Tim, pick those up right now.
$20.
Rick L. Great show. What rod would you recommend for the Lexa 400? Rick L wants to know. Great question, Rick.
Yeah, something like 8 foot. I would say 15 to 40, 20 to 50 would be the line rating. A lot of great rods in there. That category. Akuma makes a nice one in their PCH inshore, PCH custom inshore. The Phoenix M1 rods are super popular in that 82MH, 82H. Or a rod something similar to that would work too. I think Dow's got one too, the Proteus inshore.
Fish with Ish. Sam, what size treble hook I need for the Eddie Bomb? It wasn't said in your video on the setup. I'm looking at the 5X Mustad or BKK 7X50.
That'd be perfect there, Ish.
Either one of those two?
Yeah, either one of those would be good.
All right.
Yeah.
Omar, what's the scoop on these tuna this year? Same as last year? Also, what boots would you recommend for us fat guys with wide feet?
There you go,
There you
yeah.
go. I like Omar.
What's the scoop on the tuna?
The scoop, oh, that's me.
Yeah.
The scoop on the tuna is it's as good a start as you could ever ask for. Really
for
great
sure.
fishing, limit style fishing. And while there's been some 40 to 60 pounders, there's been a lot of 80 to 180 pound
Yeah,
fish.
big fish.
And you know what? Like last year, I remember times where it would be a daytime bite or an evening bite. And this year so far, it's been both.
Yeah.
They've had great daytime fishing and they've had the night bite. And definitely the night bite has been a little better, bigger fish, more of them. But the daytime bite's been good on 30-pound fluoro, fly line bait. Kite fishing's been good. Sinker fishing's been good. Incredible start to the season.
Incredible start, yeah.
Okay, Dan Lightfoot, hit
Boots.
that like button. Oh, the boots,
Yeah,
please.
yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, for the wider boots, it's going to be that extra tough in the wheelhouse model. Wheelhouse.
Right, the ones I can't find.
I got them.
You got mine?
Yeah,
No, you don't.
for sure. Why wouldn't I have them?
Well, I mean, you may have the new ones, but I've lost my old ones.
Oh,
I don't know
have
where
the
they
old
are.
ones. Oh, the ones that what's the
Gifford
name?
gave me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, you're all messed up.
I know.
I
gotta be.
I
Where
don't
are
have
those?
them. I don't know.
I'll find them.
Yeah, maybe Scott's got them.
Yeah, he might. Is that it? You've answered the question?
That was it. Yeah. Did you hear?
I heard it.
Okay.
I thought maybe you were going to go into greater detail. Sam, do you know when the Ocean Jigger lever drag coming out, and what's your thoughts about it? That's Isaac asking that question.
I don't know, Isaac. I think it should be out, this summer, maybe in July or something like that. And it looks good. It's a smaller size. It's, I think, a 2,000 size, so it's not the larger 4,000 size. But yeah, it should be a nice reel for sure.
All right, very good question. I don't think my computer's charging. Tony, I'm in for the slow pitch rockfish trip. There's one
There you
guy.
go. There's one.
We got Tony. All right, do you have any tungsten Eddie bombs?
No, no tungsten, just lead.
All right, Jeremy. Yes, slow pitching jigging.
There
I
you
think
go.
he's in. All right, we got another guy, Chris Navarro. He's in for the jigging rockfish.
Woo!
Man, JS wants a fishing rod recommendation.
Okay.
What's this for?
For Tim.
Okay, well, hang on to those. He might. We'll fill them out for him at the end of the show. Did you hear my question?
Yeah, we haven't finished saying.
JS. Oh, hey, did you plug that in?
No, I just turned on the little red thing there.
Yeah.
When you push it, the little light turns on, and that means that the power is going through it.
Hey,
That's
my computer's charging.
Yeah, it's a little red thing on the very end of it. Yeah, it's called a power switch.
So none of my stuff.
At least that's what they
none
tell
of my
me.
stuff was charging
It
today.
doesn't say power switch on the button,
But it turns red.
Don't be afraid.
It
to push
illuminates.
the button. You could try that next.
Yeah,
next time.
because Sam, look, it's charging now.
Wow, it's amazing.
And I'm running around here earlier, like I got everything plugged in. I go, oh, good, I'm glad. Nothing was charging earlier today. Great. All right. Did you get that question?
You haven't finished reading it yet. You're
Fishing,
so excited about the thing charging.
fishing rod recommendation. What's good?
Wow, everything.
Is this my Michael
Yeah.
asked us the question?
Yes. Yeah. It does depend on what you're trying to fish for. I mean, if you're going to pick one brand, CalStar, United Composites, Seeker, Phoenix, they're all good stuff. But yeah, there's so many good rods. That's a pretty big question.
All right, Rob S. says, next week, Captain Bill on the horizon out of San Diego is starting his 2-day deep water rock cod fish trips. Those should be great.
Should be good, yeah.
Yeah, the horizon was actually down at Collinet, and they got a little weather window, and a guy named Paul Fanning was on there. Paul reported great vermilion fishing, and they had some big bocaccio, so they had great fishing. As we surge past 120 viewers, we've been up over 100 viewers all night. I don't think we've done that for a long time.
No, never
Since
have.
last week, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Live free, die free. Evening, boys. Hello, Sam and Phil. I just picked up 4 nano rods for slow pitch jigging. Dad has to keep up with the times.
it.
Be great to do a slow pitch jigging trip with you all, Sam.
There
I
we
think
go.
we've hit a home run here.
I know.
Yeah.
No, yeah, such a good idea.
Yeah, thank you.
so smart.
Thank you. You
guy
guys were here when I suggested
He's
that to Sam, right? I got 2 witnesses. Michael, who came up with the slow pitch jigging idea?
You're such a fountain of
Oh,
inspiration.
you're being honest, huh?
Yeah.
All right, give me my raffle tickets back. I don't want them anymore. All right, very good. Yeah, no, Sam came up with that, and it's a great idea. JS, what's good? Great slow pitch rod for the day for bluefin. What's a good rod?
Yeah, most guys, I mean, as far as slow pitch, I don't know if a lot of guys are slow pitching for bluefin. They really do more jigging. But they're unless the fish are pretty small, you get into some of these slow pitch rods. But most of the guys are jigging in the daytime for them. And for you guys that are kind of wondering what the difference is, that slow pitching is definitely a different motion that you're doing with the jig, where you're moving the jig a lot slower, kind of hence the name slow pitch.
Yeah, I figured that out.
Yeah, and also too, usually you're going to be targeting more structure-based, smaller fish, like rockfish and yellowtail and things like that. When you get into this tuna fishing, especially with the size of fish that we're talking about bigger fish, bigger reels, and bigger jigs. And so you're going to be using more of a speed jigging style rod. And as far as what guys are using, they're using a 607 Megalodon 608. That'd be from Phoenix. They're using something like a United Composites Zeus 3, Zeus 2, something like that. CXJ 6002, 6003, kind of something in that range.
All right, excellent answer, Sam, even though I thought you were going to fall apart there for a
Yeah.
second. You rebounded nicely. Tony says, Sam, do you have the Daiwa Seabog 500? And if you do, what's the price?
I don't have it in stock. I think that if you search them online, they're all the same price everywhere. I can see if I can get some. Those are a little bit pricey, though, for sure.
All right, JS is back. Hey, JS, good to see you. Also, what's a good rod for slow pitch and that potentially allows to rail at times?
None are really going to be designed to do that. Part of what we're going to be talking on this slow pitch, it's going to be more like the jig. I know we kind of answered that after you wrote the question, but the best you can do is maybe have a rod and add a little bit of foregrip to it. If you're buying a factory rod, there really isn't a whole lot of factory rods, or I don't think there's any factory rods that have a long foregrip. But a lot of the guys who have one made, a custom made rod, will have a foregrip that goes from the reel seat all the way to the first guy, just like a rail rod does. But that being said, it's really going to be more to maybe just rest the rod on the rail for a little bit. You're not going to be able to have as much prying effect as you do like when you're basically, railing a rod. One of the things that you have to do that, and the reason we use a rail rod in that way, is that the rod is so stiff and sticking out from the boat, is that when you pull on it like that, you have a lot of rod out there that you're moving that fish with. With a jigging rod, since it bends all the way down towards the handle, when you go to do that, you're just not moving as much line. So it's not really going to be effective like how a rail rod would be. But once again, we're going to be maybe using that foregrip to maybe just rest the rod on the rail, not so much to use it as a rail rod.
All right, Dansky wants to know if you have a copy of the Tatty book, and if so, can you show it to him? Because he's thinking about getting one, but he wants to take a look at it first.
do.
All right, Sam's off to get that. I'll remind you all that we still have room on our Independence 5-day trip, sailing April the 4th through the 9th, and you can get more information on that by calling the Independence office or by going to www.independencesportfishing.com. All right, Sam, there it is. God, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a big, giant book. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. That might be a guy who might have some of that Redondo information.
Yeah, right?
Scott, yeah. But yeah,
Scott Bouchard?
This book is awesome, man. So I think if you try to reach Scott Manson through his Instagram page, I think he's got a link on there so you can buy it online.
All right, yeah.
Call him.
Hey, I'll tell you right now, Dansky, it's a gorgeous book. It is. When I look at it, I say, wow, that was an incredible amount of work.
Yeah.
And well done.
One of the cool things about it, I mean, just it's a cool book. It's an awesome, well-made book. One of the things that I like about it is if you've been fishing Southern California long enough, more than likely you got a box full of jigs that you've had for a long time. New ones, old ones, things like that. So it is kind of cool to be able to have one book have compiled all that stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll go to let's say you go to a swap meet or a yard sale, or maybe you buy something online, it'll say, a jig lot, it'll have 25 jigs or whatever, and a bunch of old stuff, you're not really sure what it is. Now you can buy that stuff and use that almost as a reference. And so it's kind of cool in that way. It's pretty much the Bible of Tatty jigs. I mean, it's only one brand, it's just Tatty, so it's not going to be able to uncover all that other stuff. But as far as Tatties are concerned, if you got any kind of old Tatty jig, that book's going to talk about it.
All right, yeah, it's a fantastic book. David Maestro, you know David, right?
Yeah.
He's a great guy. He says, howdy, guys. Great information as always.
Yeah,
David,
Dave.
miss seeing you, my friend. David and I, he brought down so much clothing from Mexico, and then him and I took it over with Bob Gifford to put it in our warehouse, and we had a good time doing it. Let's
Dave's
put
a
it
good
that way.
fisherman too, right there.
Great fisherman, great human being, actually. Live Free, Die Free is talking to Isaac. He said, I made Eddie bombs with 1,000-pound stainless wire in them.
Just in case. You never know, yeah.
Do it,
I
man.
used to use 900, but 1,000's better.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Steve Bermudez is here now to wax eloquently about the difference in hats, something I know
is he
all
gonna
our
do?
audience. He's going to talk about hats.
Okay.
Let's put it that way. And I know the whole audience now watch the numbers. There's 123 people listening. Go down to like 64 in 30 seconds. Adjustable hats have a hole in the back. Size to fit hats do not have a hole in the back. But are you going to carry the hat with the gray hair built into it's that one I want? Okay, yeah, the gray one. You got it, Steve. No problem. And have another shot on me, baby.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
You didn't read that right, but that's okay.
All right, we'll read it. Help me out here. I'm tired.
He said, "Are you going to carry the one with the gray hair built into it?"
Oh, the gray hair thing.
Yeah.
Yes, of course,
He
Steve.
didn't put a comma down there, but there was a comma there.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
supposed to be a comma.
That's the one I want.
Oh, I got it. Steve, I'm sorry. Yes, the gray hair. We got it for you. Giovanni Bautista. Thank you guys for putting up our pictures from San Quintin last Friday. Oh my God. Are these the kids that were whaling on the Yellowtail? You guys were awesome. We had a great time with Jaime's Pongas and just hammered the Yellowtail and some bottom cribbers. Hey, you guys are friggin' awesome. Did you see it?
No.
These two kids were just wailing on the
Oh, I
yellows
think so.
down there.
Yeah.
And they were bouncing them on board. It looked like so much fun. Man,
Yeah.
I really appreciate you checking in, Giovanni. That is so cool. And I'm so happy you guys had such a great time down there. Stay in touch with us here. And if you have any kind of trips like that in the near future, man, send me some video and we'll definitely post it. But thank you so much for checking in. That means a lot to me. Blue Sky, Sam, I heard you mention shrimp for bait. Do you have a hook with a longer shank on it? Do you use a hook with longer shank?
You can, yeah. I mean, they have that Aki Twist 1.0 is pretty popular for that, but you know, any kind of small to medium hook will work. It doesn't have to be a specific, hook for that. So, but that Aki Twist 1.0 will probably be one that you might want to use as reference.
All right, very good. Who was the last guy? Oh,
Tyler
yeah.
Tanaka's next. Turbo T2.
Turbo T2. Got to get a little. Hold on. Let me have a swig here, man.
So,
Hold on.
But he's responding to Jacob Romero saying, sorry, I didn't answer the question. I used the 110 and the 130 size. He's talking about the squid treks, mostly for calicos, rockfish, yellowtail, etc.
Thank you, Sam. Leonard Rivera, as I've had a swig of coffee and I'm ready to go now. Good evening, gentlemen. How big of a fish can a Max 16 with 100-pound braid handle?
1,000 pounds, as long as you have a 1,000-pound wire going to it. Now it'll handle just about anything you can handle for sure. Yeah, I've seen that reel catch many 200-pound yellowfin tuna even. So these bluefin don't stand a chance on that thing. Yeah, you'd be in really good shape with that reel.
All right, Ming Hang, Jonathan Chan say hello.
Hi.
Good to see you guys. Thanks for being here. Raul Alvarez, what's up, guys? Sam, I finally got my
U.S.
US 90 monster wrap and I bought at your shop. What reel should I pair it with? Thanks. Thank you, Raul.
Yeah, it just depends on how you built it. That's a pretty versatile rod. I know guys fish that rod even down at Bay of LA where they'll fish like a bait caster for those big cabria. But they also fish that up here as this regular jig stick. So you might even put like a Trinidad 20 or Saltiga 40, something like that. So it depends on how you had it built up and what style, I guess. But something along those lines would be good.
All right, Chris Navarro says he'll be there next Monday with a carnivore birthday cake for me. I love it.
Cake.
Nice big tri-tip with a candle in it, right? Yeah, I like that. And Giovanni says, finally made it on Friedman Adventures. Giovanni, man, it's our honor. You guys, I mean, I can just see you guys were having so much fun throwing those yellows on. I was very, very enthused to see it.
Friedman Adventures.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Don't let me forget. Hey, I got to call that guy tonight. All right. Jacob Romero, I have one more question. Sorry. That's okay. Don't worry, Jacob. I'm going to skip over him. He's asked too many questions tonight. What's the difference between the Akuma Alijos and the Makaira? Ask as many questions as you want. I'm kidding you.
So, I mean, the Makaira is just a heavier duty frame, a heavier duty side plate. It's a heavier duty reel all the way around. That Alijos though is a strong contender though. I mean it's a reel that I know has caught some nice fish in the past in the previous version even. But that Makaira it's a heavier duty reel, and that 16. I don't know if we were just asking about the 16 size, but you're talking about a smaller big reel. So in that Makaira series, that's one of the smaller size reels. It's still a super beefy reel seeing that it's a Makaira reel, but in my opinion, I probably would stick with that one over the Alijos if you're comparing the largest Alijos to the smallest Makaira reel. So, but they're pretty dang good, both of them.
Christopher Navarro says, Sam, I bought some heavy tuna leader rigs from IFT. Mm-hmm. They're about a foot too long. Can I drop them by and you shorten them up for me?
Of course, no problem.
Wow, that's a good answer and quick, let me tell you. Jacob Romero, Tyler Tanaka, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Man, we're flying through now. Michael Lebone says, Sam, what do you think about soaking your Berkeley goobs in hot sauce 3 days before surf fishing?
I don't know. What's a goob? Hot sauce? What kind? Like some tapatio?
Taco Bell.
Yeah, tapatio.
Yeah, taco. You've never heard this before? People soak the grubs in taco?
Taco sauce?
Yes.
Really?
Bill Varney recommends.
Really?
Yes.
No way.
I swear to God.
Well, if he says it, then
yeah,
it's gotta work.
Yeah, right. Well, you got his book up here, don't you?
Yeah, that guy's a pro. So.
He is.
So then, yeah.
And he's a big SC fan too.
If he does it, then do it.
Okay. What's a goob?
Well, whatever it is, you got to soak in hot sauce.
Okay, don't soak your
The
goob.
grub.
Hot sauce. All right. Let's see. That was Michael Limo. Tyler Tanaka throws us $5. Thank you, Tyler. Really appreciate that. Sam, giving you kudos and thanks for sharing your knowledge each week. That Corbina answer for Michael was packed with valuable info. So great. Didn't mention me one time in that thing, huh? No valuable information coming out of me. Rob S. Guys, are the squid still thick out there? Not really.
I don't think so. I haven't heard about that.
No, there's a little bit around. It seems like there's some stuff starting to move in again, but not like it was. So
Usually like an El Nino.
yes, El Nino, warm water, no squid.
No squid.
That's right. Jamie Fernandez Jr. Good to see you, Jaime. Jamie, how strong are the silver guides on a factory black and teal CalStar 648 0C?
No, plenty strong, I guess. You know, I mean, I'm not really sure how to measure that as far as, you know, what we're talking about strength. You know, it's definitely more than adequate for the line size that rod is kind of recommended for. But sometimes people will be more concerned with maybe the rings coming off of the frame, you know, if you drop the rod or something like that. And it's about as strong as anything else. You know, I mean, I know that it's not really a modern guide. The modern guides with the insert is kind of what you see a lot of. But to be honest with you, they're just about as strong. You know, I mean, you know, as far as in that using them, using that to measure its strength, I guess. But as far as the line size for what that rod is for, I think it's a 30 to 60. You know, you could use 60 pound on those guides, no problem.
All right, great answer. Did I tell you that?
No,
That's a fantastic answer.
Again.
I wasn't even listening to it, actually, but it sounded great to me. I was trying to get ahead and trying to wake up here. Josh Schulman says it's 1 gram for 1 meter, LOL.
LOL.
Is he making fun of somebody that said it was something else? Or
Tyler.
Oh, Josh, there's no reason to laugh at Tyler. Tyler's a nice man.
It's supposed to be a safe space here.
Yes, it's a safe space, you know. We have, in the back here, we have some giant dolls that if you feel threatened, Sam sometimes will run back and hug one of the dolls. Yeah, I did that too.
Other times I'll go and I'll flip his power switch on.
Oh my God. Hey, did I tell you this is charging?
Really?
Look, I've been trying to get that. Did you see me like plugging this all
It must
night?
have been magical. I know, I saw that. I'm like, it's got to be something else.
That's too funny. Okay, yes, maybe it's 1 gram for 1 meter. Jimmy Gonzalez has a question about grunion run best tonight or tomorrow. Jimmy, in my vast experience in grunion hunting, which now spans about 60 years, because my dad took me when I was like 5 or 6, I remember. It's the second night that's usually better. That is not to say the first night is not going to be a boomer run on the grunion. And the great thing about tonight is, and these two schmucks, well, he's gone, are trying to talk me into going grunion hunting tonight. As tired as I am.
You're not going to go?
I might.
No, you're not.
I think I will, just for Michael.
I wasn't asking. I guess I was saying you're not going to go.
I'm not sure. But anyway, that's not to say the first night. The thing that's tempting about the first night is it's early. Okay, so I don't know what it is tonight, but like it's probably 10 to midnight or something like that tonight. I wouldn't go until the second hour. And it's probably windy and cold and crummy out there. You go out there in that first hour, and about 45 minutes in, when you haven't seen a grunion, you're like,
Bam.
I'm out of here.
Out of here.
So if you go down there in the second hour, you only got like 15 minutes or so. If they're going to show, they usually show up then. And then you can have some fun. Mm-hmm. You know what you do to have fun with grunion?
What do you do?
Well, you just watch them, Sam.
Yeah.
It's a miracle of nature.
It is.
It's a spectacle of
It
nature.
is kind of cool.
Yeah, it really is,
Yeah,
actually. Yeah. And you can take 30 of them and freeze them and save them for bait.
Put them on a hook and send them out.
Yeah, we have done that. Patrick was catching big yellowfin croaker.
Yeah.
It was fun, man. It was really good. All right, there you got it. So, Jimmy, maybe we'll see you out there tonight. I don't know. Dan, are you still planning on doing that?
I don't know yet. See what it's like when we get outside.
Jamie Fernandez said $5 over. It says he hopes it covers the ranch dressing. Definitely will do that. Jamie, thank you.
You don't have to do that. It's free.
Oh, all right. Well, then Michael actually gets something other than water tonight, maybe. Chris Navarro, Sam, what pound leader would you use during the day for a sinker rig, fluorocarbon, or mono? He's bringing my birthday cake, so be nice to him.
Yeah, fluorocarbon, 50 or 60 pound, probably the main thing. But there's times when they'll eat 80, you know, especially if there's bigger fish around. But 50 and 60 most of the times, but, you know, 80 or maybe even 100 if there's some really big fish around.
All right, excellent. Great question. Tim Marquez sent me the money.
There you go.
For ticks and wings. Oh,
Wowzers.
Tim, we love you. Thank you so much.
You didn't have to do that. You buy all the time.
I know. Yeah, I need the help, Tim. Thank you. Dave Maestro, lots of viewers tonight. Let's smash that like button. Let's do that. Yeah, man, we've been up there 120, 130. Sam, people must love you.
They do.
I can't explain it.
I don't know why.
I don't either, but there's something going on here, man. Josh Schulman, Sam has a really good inventory for a guy who wants to tie their own assist hooks. If you want to take your slow pitch to the next level, you
have to.
You have to tie your own assist hooks. Thank you. I'm starting to read like a moron now, right?
Yeah,
Gone from
that's one
idiot
thing
to
we
moron.
didn't mention earlier, too, all the stuff that we have in here. So we have all that stuff from Owner to tie your own assist hooks. We have the string, we have the hooks, we have the string tubing, the rings, everything you need. So he's right. It's something you can do pretty easily.
Yeah, for sure. All right, DJ B, Phil, going on the Independence trip. Heard great things about the quality of the Independence as a first-class boat and looking forward to fishing on it and, of course, meeting you and the Friedman Adventure family. You're going to be there?
Awesome.
It's going to be great, and I'm so happy you're going to be there. Thank you so very much. That's going to be great. Jeremy, I texted you a screenshot from the shirt website. The shirts look fine. How the labels them,
How he labels.
How he labels them on the site is wrong.
Maybe just the item.
Okay.
The item name.
Thank you, Jeremy. We need to get this all straightened out, so I appreciate that very much. Boy, Chuck's going to get an earful from me tonight, isn't he? All right, Michael Limon. This is my favorite show out of the week. Sam and Phil are the best, and everybody I met from Phil are great people. That's right, Michael, we got great people around us, don't we?
Yeah.
We really do. I mean that sincerely. And Mackie is, he's an exception, but what can you do, man? He's going to film for, nothing, so we're going to put him on. No, Mackie's another guy. I can tell he's a great guy. His sister went to school with my oldest son, Philip.
Oh, that's right. He was saying,
Yes, right.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool, right? All right, Josh Ullman, Shimano Game Show, JPE3. Huh?
Slow J. Game Slow J.
Yeah, Slow J with OSHA Jigger 2000 HI is a good start for slow pitch.
Yeah, it is a good start.
Josh Ullman's a very knowledgeable fisherman. I can tell you that. Christopher Navarro, I have a 1.5 day on the Pride on April 12th. Sam, what would you take if the trip were tomorrow with white sea bass, tuna, halibut, rockfish, whitefish biting? What and how many rigs? Tomorrow, if I were going, I would take plenty of seasick pills.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about too much tuna quite yet, even if the weather was good, out of San Pedro at the moment. So you probably wouldn't need to take too much, maybe like 4 or 5 rods at the most, something from 20 to 40 pound test, and maybe a jig stick.
Alberto Ponce es un buen hombre, Samuel. Un buen hombre. Un amigo mío.
Buenísimo.
It's buenísimo, exactamente. Great guy. Good evening, fellas, says Alberto. Good to see you. Albert. Tyler Tanaka. Sam sounded just like Christopher Walken. Ooh, amazing. Push that button. Great show tonight. He's loving it. People are loving it. And they're loving the fact that Phil Frieman can't figure out how to use a power strip. They think that's great. And that his website, he puts out all his hats and shirts, and then people go to the website, and everything's misspelled.
Yeah.
Looks stupid. That's not good.
No.
That's very, very...
You must have paid that guy in chicken wings.
Yeah, he's coming tonight. Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah,
No,
he's going to
not.
get the bones is what he's going to get. Let me tell you, that's what he's going to get.
He was coming.
Yeah, exactly. Chris Navarro wants to know, and do I need an albacore specific rig on this trip?
No, just an
That's
albacore
a
tag. for
good
the fishing
question.
game, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Michael Limon, Sam, what rail rod do you recommend for nighttime fishing?
Well, there's a ton of them out there now. Something where the top rating is at least 100, but preferably 130. So you're going to get rods that are going to be like a 60 to 100, 60 to 130, 80 to 130, something like that. 7 to 7.5 foot length. And you want to make sure that they have a long foregrip. Preferably is all the way up to that first guide just about.
Tonight, how our budget is not very big here on the
Oh.
Freedman Adventures
Yeah.
YouTube thing. And I always have to run back there, and then I leave you here tonight. We're going to be together because
to the
Dan Lighthouse Lightfoot.
Lightfoot.
Dan Lightfoot. He can't figure out how to take a picture on a phone.
No.
But we've got Mackie here tonight, and I'm pretty sure he knows how to push the X
Yeah.
and turn the show off.
Right.
So I'll sit here with my arm around you
yeah.
tonight, and we'll be able to say goodbye together.
That's
So
awesome.
We're getting there.
Riding off in the sunset.
Yeah, you got it. Josh Schulman, Phoenix. Do I have to read all these numbers? Seriously, I am too tired. Phoenix TX PAD with Ocean Jigger 1500 for 80 gram to 150 gram.
Sounds good, Josh. That's a good one.
Michael Limon. Sorry, Sam, for almost hitting you with the rubber band. Did he almost hit you with the rubber band?
Almost, yeah.
Scott Dickinson says, "Hi guys, wondering if you can talk about a sport boat that you can have a good bass fishing. I go on the some fun." Why are you laughing? Out of Dana Point Sport Fishing, looking for more boats that run open party. Will you stop?
That Some Fun's probably one of the better ones, though. But those guys down there at, what's the boat that we went on down there the time with the kids?
Monte Carlo.
No,
down
this is out of Dana Wharf.
Yeah. Those guys do some pretty good bass fishing.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably just stay going down there. A lot of boats don't really target bass hardly anymore. I know the Monty does at times during the summer. But you may, honestly, you're probably going to want to call down to the landing and see what kind of program they've got going. A lot of times they're doing kind of more of a whitefish or a rockfish type program just to get, fill up the sacks. But I know some of the boats will kind of run like a calico bass day or something like that. So, I'd probably call around.
All right, Chris Navarro says, Grunion run, question mark. I guess he wants to know, are we going tonight? And Dan, are we going?
No.
Mackie's going to come down and film the whole thing. It's going to be a documentary on... it's going to be a documentary on
life cycle of Grunion?
The life cycle of the Grunion. What's that guy's name? David Attenborough or Burrow or whatever, the guy with the English accent that makes everything sound.
Yeah.
And the Grunion come up on the beach at night for their sexy little whatever it is. Something like that. How's that sound?
That sounds great.
I know he does. Well, he's got one tonight, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to have to be settled with you tonight. All right, Rob S. says, Salton Sea Corbinas anymore? I haven't fished there for decades. Any fish in it lately? I don't think so, right?
I don't think so.
That's a shame. I never fished that place, so I have no idea. Yeah, I know. It used to be really good, but Isaac sends us a $20 bill. This is getting close to me being able to buy Mackie a chicken wing. One chicken. What flavor do you want, Mackie? Doesn't matter. Well, get ready because we're going to splurge tonight, let me tell you. What are you guys doing? What's this?
I'm way ahead of you.
Face too much. Hey, Sam, any 64 blanks in store?
Right here.
Oh, man, yeah, what is that?
That's just what he asked for.
Well, I know, but I'm not reading that number. You read it. I'm too tired to read it.
This is a CalStar 6485 Light.
Oh, there you are.
That's it right there. We got
That's
it.
a beauty.
This is kind of an all-around rod. 20, 25 to 40 pound test jig stick or heavy bait rod. 8.5 foot. CalStar all glass.
Hey,
Larry,
that's a good question.
It is, yeah. Very good question.
By the way, Larry's asking a question because this guy that can't get my name straight, tackle shop confession shirt. So he sent me a thing with a fish on it. I was like, no, I need to explain to you what the show's about. And then, so what we need from you folks, or you, or Mackie, or anybody here, Michael Limon, what should the tackle shop confession shirt look like? And he'll print them.
Like a Three Stooges or something like that?
That might be funny. Yeah, but who's the third stooge?
I don't know. Maybe
Michael Limon?
Two Stooges, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, something like, you mean with the eye poke going on?
Yeah.
Something, I think it should be something like that. And
How about Island Fishing Tqckle?
Island Fishing Tqckle.
Like really big. And then Friedman Adventures.
Yeah,
really,
like
really
you can't
small.
read it. Not Friedman. Friedman Adventures, yeah.
On a sunset, like on a beach.
Yeah.
Stories on the beach, like palm trees, and then just.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good idea. Good.
Go with it.
No, yeah. Okay. Michael, we will throw that in the hat. That's a very good idea. All right. Cue ball. Good to see you. Cue ball's always here. Chris Navarro, I just bought a Friedman Adventure shirt from the site. The misspelled Friedman. Just kidding. On the shirt. Yeah. Hey, are the shirts spelled right? I hope.
We'll find
this
out.
guy's, what's going on with
They
this
haven't
guy?
got to him yet.
Jeremy says, need more cowbells.
Yeah, I know.
100%.
Yeah.
Chris Navarro, good night, guys. Love the show. My last question, what is the best wings from the place you guys go to? Well, Sam, you give your favorite.
I like the Buffalo Gold. That's my favorite.
Okay,
Buffalo
and
Gold.
I always get the Mango Madness or whatever
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, which I probably shouldn't be doing on the carnivore. But when I go out with my friends, I party a little bit. So there you go. I even drink 2 glasses of water on some of those nights. All right, Duong, who's a great guy. And in fact, I think you sent me a message about booking a trip. I'll take care of that for you tomorrow. Even though tomorrow I'm running like at 5 a.m. I'm going to be here at 5 a.m. taping the morning briefing. You're going to open up early for
5
me.
a.m. That's when we're going to be here.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Hi, Sam and Phil. What do you think about the Phoenix Access live bait rod? See, I like this. Phoenix Access. It's not Phoenix Access 431 71 38 64. It's J8 19 46 12 19. I like this. I can read this. The Phoenix Access live bait rod with moderate fast action have enough shock absorption that I don't need to have mono top shot for shock absorption.
So yeah, I mean, as far as that, they are definitely soft enough. You know, I mean, if you pick the line size that is going to be adequate for that size of rod, I think you're going to be fine. You know, they're not that soft, I guess, in a way, if you're choosing that over something else. But I think if you're used to using the mono, you're probably going to just want to use the mono all the time. I personally don't use a whole lot of mono top shots for shock absorption. And those rods are definitely, they have the soft enough tip, but when you are fighting a fish, it's going to be pretty much locked up into the meat of the rod. So you're no longer going to be pulling on the tip anymore. You're going to be pulling on the middle of the rod. So at that point, I think the rod's not going to do much shock absorption for you, no matter what rod it is. So if you feel comfortable with that mono, I'd say keep using it. I personally don't think you really need it, but those rods are definitely a little softer maybe than other rods out there.
Chris Navarro says, Phil Attenborough. Yes, I can do that. Just give me a little voiceover time. Mackie's going to be so impressed with my voiceover on this project we're working on. You know about it, but your lips are sealed. Don't say anything.
What'd you say?
I don't know.
I don't know.
And Chris Navarro says, Stan and Ollie. I wasn't a big Oliver and Hardy
Yeah,
fan.
yeah.
Were you?
No.
No, I'm more Three Stooges.
I wasn't more then.
Are you Three Stooges? Oh, no. What did you say? Yeah, you said Three Stooges, right?
Yeah.
Los Tres Chiflados.
Yeah.
Okay, so who are you and who am I?
I don't know.
Come on.
Let's get on with
Who's
it.
Mo? I know, there's 2 questions left and we're eating chicken wings. Who do you want to be, Mo or Larry or Curly?
Curly.
You do?
No, I don't know.
I'll be Mo because he's always like, poking people. By the way, I don't know if you want to hear this or not, but I really don't care. They had a Three Stooges look-alike thing when my kids were little. And so I took them, and these guys they were dead ringers for the Three Stooges. So I said, hey, Larry's a cool guy over there, but Mo, he'll frickin' drill you, so be careful. So I go, get next to Mo, I'll take a picture, and they're both like, they're terrified. They think Mo's just gonna frickin' poke them, man. It was great. Chris Navarro says Ren and Stimpy. Mm-hmm. You like that?
All right.
Face too much. Man, he wants out of here. Face too much. That's the one. Thanks, Sam. I'll see if I can pop by the shop and grab one here soon. By the way, how do you like here we go, the 64, 84, 91 compared to the 271, 84, 65, 31, 7 bait stick? Which one do you like best?
You know, they're pretty dang similar. I think that the 6485L is going to have a little bit more backbone, so you can fish it on the heavier side. That 278H is probably, you're right, probably my favorite 25-pound, 20-pound bait stick. I've caught a lot of yellowtail on that rod. This is going to be having a little bit heavier tip, a similar tip, but maybe a tad bit heavier, but definitely more backbone.
And Jeremy says, good night, friends.
Good
Sam,
night.
do you want to say something while we sign off to our great friends out there?
Why don't you say something? I get to sign off every week. Why don't you sign off?
I'm going to say that this kid, Michael Limon, is a great kid, and that this store, Island Fishing Tqckle, is my home away from home, and I absolutely love it here, and so will each and every one of you. And by tomorrow morning, you will see the name spelled correctly on the Friedman Adventures. It's not even the free, it's like creation, what is it? Embroiderycreations.net website. We'll have that all straightened out. Right, Michael?
Yep.
You want to say goodbye to everybody?
Bye, everybody.
Sam?
Chicken wings.
All right. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning for the morning briefing. Thanks for joining us.
Good night.
Hey, we did it. Oh, my God. That was a great